There's CFL gold in that varsity. The Gold Miners of Sacramento, California, led by head coach Kay Stevenson. And now in his second season, quarterback David Archer. Ray Yauch is one of the winningest coaches all time in the Canadian Football League. And making his second trip to Regina, quarterback Tom Burgess. Tonight from Sacramento, the Gold Miners, the Roughriders, the CFL Live on TSN. Welcome back, quarterback Tom Burgess. Now in his second tour of duty with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Last week in Regina, he lived out one of the highlights of his career so far as Burgess threw the pass that Ray Elgard caught to become the CFL's all-time leading receiver. Catch number 707 for Elgard.
I'm privileged to be able to do that. Ray's been a great player for so long. I think he's the best that ever played the game, and that I'm the quarterback that threw him the ball. I feel honored.
The Gold Miners counter with quarterback David Archer. The leader of the second-year CFL Sacramento Gold Miners. 1 week ago in Las Vegas, Archer drove his team deep into posse territory, and with just 1 second left on the clock, threw a 7-yard touchdown pass for the Miners' win, and a winning record for the first time in team history.
I think it gives us a great sense of feeling about one another. We're always in the ball game. We never are out of a game, and guys are going to rise up in the final seconds to win it.
Two quarterbacks, Burgess and Archer, looking to make it another highlight week tonight in Sacramento. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hornet Field in Sacramento, the CFL Live here on TSN. Respect is something that every coach wants for his team early in a season, and both the Gold Miners and the Roughriders are on their way to establishing some respect. Take a look at Sacramento, for example. They've won 2 straight, both on the road, and that is one more than they won all of last season away from home. And then there is Saskatchewan. They have lost players such as Kent Austin. Gerald Bayless went to Baltimore as a free agent. They have 15 new players on the roster, 9 starting. Yet despite all the changes, here they are, 2-1, and yes, quickly earning a lot of respect. With more on their thoughts, Gord Miller and Jamie Bowen.
All right, thanks very much, Vic. The Sacramento Gold Miners, Jamie, are above 500 for the first time in their history, but they haven't done it the easy way.
No, they haven't, Gord. They've done it the hard way after losing their opening game to Las Vegas. They rallied back in the fourth quarter, the next game against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And then last week in the rematch versus Las Vegas, they won it in dramatic fashion, winning that game in the last play of the ball game. And this is a team now that goes into a football game with great confidence, thinking that, hey, we can win these games. They're not going into games wondering if they can win these games.
Now the Saskatchewan Roughriders have a veteran coach, Ray Yauch, from the old school, and Ray Yauch, kind of bucking a CFL trend, looks to keep the ball on the ground a little more.
Don't tell Ray Yauch that the running game is dead in the CFL. It's very much alive, and that's because he is one of the best running backs in the CFL, Mike Saunders. Saunders now averaging 5.9 yards per carry. This guy is an explosive running back and is on track for a 1,000-yard season.
And Ray Yauch, in fact, told me today it's imperative the Roughriders have a 1,000-yard rusher this season. That's big news because there weren't any in the CFL last year. Vic?
Well, the weather couldn't be better here in Sacramento at this time of year. The mercury can quickly reach the 100-degree or higher mark, but today they say it was a comfortable low 90s, and now with a delta breeze blowing in from the coast, well, it's cooling off very quickly, but not quickly enough for both teams because both the Gold Miners and the Roughriders have their large fans right beside the bench. When it gets this hot, there isn't enough powder in the world to keep this commentator dry. Gord?
Thanks, Vic, but the golf shirt is a nice touch. And speaking of fans, they're continuing to file in here to Hornet Field. 27 degrees Celsius and a nice delta breeze, and the field is nice and dry. Jamie, what do you see as the difference in this football game today?
No question it's going to be the Sacramento offensive line, Gord, being able to protect David Archer. David Archer's a big, strong quarterback, but I'll tell you what, he cannot throw the ball very effectively when he's lying flat in his back. This is a team that allowed 10 sacks last week. That's got to be changed this week if they have any hope of winning.
And Archer sacked 69 times last season. as Sacramento allowed 73 in total, and that's a big problem for Sacramento, especially tonight. 2 new starters along the offensive line facing that ferocious Saskatchewan Roughrider pass rush. So we're set to get things underway. A couple of 2-1 teams looking to stay in that tough race in the CFL's West Division, where it seems like whenever there's an interlocking game, the Western team comes out ahead, and you could finish 500 in the West and still miss the playoffs.
An interesting comment. Case Stevenson, the head coach of Sacramento, said before this game he views this game really as a 2-game game because it's against somebody in your own division, and if you win, you go to 3-1. The other guy goes to 3-2. You actually gain 2 games on them.
The old 4-point game, and here's a guy who knows all about those. Veteran Dave Ridgway to kick things off for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, as Saskatchewan in white will kick it off to the Sacramento Gold Miners in their teal uniforms. And Charles Miles from his own 20 gets things underway. Miles looking for a seam up the far side, reverses his field, and picks his way out to about the 37-yard line before he's brought down, and that's where Sacramento will begin its first offensive possession. A 55-yard kickoff, a return of 16. Starting lineups tonight are brought to you by Speedy Auto Glass. Don't take a chance. Take your auto glass repairs and replacement to Speedy Auto Glass. David Archer, the second-ranked quarterback in the Canadian Football League last year. And last week, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But, of course, they'll all remember the last play of the game, the touchdown pass that won the game for the Sacramento Gold Miners. And we had a penalty on the opening kickoff.
It's offside. Saskatchewan number 25 on the kickoff. Penalties declined. First down.
So Sacramento content with that return, and will begin 1st and 10 from its own 37-yard line. At one time, 4 backs in the backfield. Now they split off to leave 1. And this is Troy Mills on the carry, and Mills gets his way up to about the 45-yard line, a gain of 7. In the backfield with him, Troy Mills, who just had that carry. Gary McCurdy replaces Mike Oliphant at running back. More on that in a moment. And the receivers, Trey Everett, Myron Wise, James Pruitt, an NFL veteran, and Rod Harris, the team's leading receiver.
And the offensive line, Peter Shorts, David Diaz-Infante, Mike Kiselak, John Budenberg, and Chris Dyko, a big group averaging 285 pounds.
2nd and 2 from the 45. They'll keep it on the ground again. This is McCurdy, and not much on the initial rush, and it doesn't look like he got the first down as the tackle is made on the play by Sean Brantley off the nose. And it'll be close to the first down. We'll wait for the indication.
It's kind of interesting, Gord, how Sacramento comes out running the football, and we thought that's what we're going to see from Saskatchewan.
It's 3rd and a short yard, and Sacramento will come out gambling right away. So a big defensive play now for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, with an opportunity to give the offense some great field position if they can hold here. They need to get to about the 46.5. Deep in the backfield, McCurdy has it easily as Brantley makes the tackle, but too late. And so Sacramento, with the successful gamble, moves the sticks.
And that's a case in point where you have big offensive linemen up front, and they can do some good things in the run game. They run the long sweep, kind of a risky call to get outside, but they get the first down.
Gary McCurdy, who we mentioned starting in place of Mike Oliphant, that's only appropriate. He replaced Oliphant at Puget Sound University in Washington State and broke all his rushing records there now. So when Oliphant got hurt, it was only natural that McCurdy would take his spot. First down from the 48, and Archer to throw for the first time, goes to the near sidelines, and Trey Everett makes the catch, gets about 7 as the tackle is made by Albert Brown. The starting defensive lineup for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Finley, Brantley, and the veteran Lewis up front. And although he's listed at linebacker, number 71, Bobby Jurison is in effect a pass rusher and should be in David Archer's face all day.
In the secondary, led by Brown and Donaldson at the corners, Anthony Dawhorn at halfback, and Aaron Ruffin, and Glenn Suter playing his 180th game for the Saskatchewan Roughriders at safety.
2nd and 2 inside Saskatchewan territory at the 53. Archer goes back to the ground, and bulling his way ahead is Troy Mills, who gets the first down and then some. Inside the 45 to about the 43 of Saskatchewan, an impressive march by the Gold Miners.
This is great ball control by Sacramento right now, and especially when they did throw the ball, they didn't take the long drop, they took the very short drop. Now again, they go back to the running game, again off tackle. Troy Mills doing a nice job of covering up the football and getting into the hole.
Game was 10, 1st and 10 Sacramento from the 43-yard line. Just underway in the first quarter. And this is Mills trying the other side. Gets a great block out front, but he's tripped up on a nice defensive play. As hustling out there was Sean Brantley and Gary Lewis. And the gain is halted to about 4.
And I tell you, also Ray Bernard made a great play there because they had the counter trap set up.
Troy Mills, who played his university football on this very field at Sacramento State. He's this team's leading rusher this year with 164 yards. And with Oliphant out, Mills will play an important role indeed. It's 2nd and about 6, and here's Archer from the shotgun. Lots of time initially. He's trying to screen it out to Mills, but the pass is too far, and so the Sacramento drive fizzles in the early moments. And now we'll have Pete Gardier coming out to punt, it appears. And now Roman Anderson joins him as Sacramento will try the field goal. And it'll be a long attempt, about 47 yards. Roman Anderson, the field goal kicker for Sacramento, is the godson of Roman Gabriel, the former NFL quarterback for the LA Rams. He's the NCAA's all-time leading scorer. This attempt will come from 48 yards out with the punter, Pete Gardier, to hold for him.
And he hit one from 47 already this year, so it's within his range.
Gardier's got lots of distance, and the kick is good. And the Sacramento Gold Miners score on their first possession. A 48-yard field goal by Roman Anderson puts them on top, 3-0. We'll return to Sacramento in just a moment. Question about it.
There is no question about that because he's the leader in this team, and you can see it in that drive. This is a very young football team. They have a veteran quarterback who knows how to run the offense. He did a very nice job methodically taking his team down the field, completing a nice short pass, but getting his team on the scoreboard early so that young offense gains some confidence.
And he engineers a field goal drive on that opening possession to put his team up 3-0 here at Hornet Field. And Ray Yock returns to the full-time head coaching ranks after about a 10-year absence. And the CFL changed while he was gone. When Ray Yock left the CFL as the coach of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in 1982, there were 5 1,000-yard rushers in the league. He returns. There were none last year.
Well, he wants to change that this year with Mike Saunders.
And his players say he's very much a player's coach. Yesterday in the pregame practice, normally they'd wear helmets and shoulder pads, but taking into account the heat, just shorts and T-shirts. The kickoff is short, taken by Darrell Wallace, who lets it bounce, and it should be Sacramento ball. It's still loose, and finally Larry Thompson falls on it. But Darrell Wallace made the cardinal mistake. He let the ball bounce in front of him, and he very nearly gave it back to Sacramento.
What a great kick by Roman Anderson. He put that ball up, way up in the air.
First down, Roughriders.
And Saskatchewan had a hard time fielding it. Look how high that ball goes, way up in the air, way up. Now the deep men have to come up and try and get it. Too far away. Should never let it bounce. Look at the ball bounces back. Saskatchewan are darn lucky they got this ball back right here. Larry Thompson with the recovery.
1st and 10 now, Saskatchewan from the 25. First time Tom Burgess and company have had the football, and Burgess goes right to the air, swings it out of the backfield, and gets it there to Sean Daniels. Daniels bottled up quickly as he gets to about the 26-yard line. Tom Burgess coming off the best year of his career last season when he threw for 5,000 yards for the first time and had a good week going last week until he got knocked out late in the 3rd quarter with a pretty serious concussion that left him a little woozy, and Warren Jones took his spot and sealed up the victory. But Tom Burgess in Ottawa last year had a great year personally, but said it was frustrating from a team perspective because they were so bad. Now he feels he's got the horses with him to get the job done. 2nd and 9, Burgess to throw again. Lots of time over the middle of Elgard, and Ray Elgard, who set the CFL record for pass receptions last week, couldn't quite squeeze this one.
Nice job by Ray Elgard coming down inside here. Burgess just puts the ball over his head, but Elgard was open. Now the thing is what Sacramento's trying to do, put a linebacker on Elgard, and that's just not going to work. You've got to put a defensive secondary man on him.
So it's 2 and out for Saskatchewan as Brent Matich comes into punt. Low end-over-end kick. Bounces at about the 40. And here's Rod Harris retreating all the way back to his own 20 to grab it. So Matich gets a break as a flag is down, and Harris won't get far as he gets back to about the 24. The ball came loose again, but the indication is that Sacramento got it back. No yard should be the call. It ends up being a 63-yard punt for Brent Matich. So we've had 2 misplays so far on special teams, one that very nearly resulted in a turnover, and this one which results in very poor field position for Sacramento.
No yards. Saskatchewan number 21. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Dale Joseph called for no yards by tonight's referee, Dave Ewell. So it'll be 1st and 10 Sacramento from its own 25-yard line.
That actually works out in Saskatchewan's favor because Rod Harris is averaging close to 16 yards per punt return this year. So they got the better of that one.
Again, you see the 4 men in the backfield just before the ball is snapped. Now they clear out, and Dave Archer comes up to throw on 1st down. Looking over the top and had a man open for a moment, but he's unable to get the ball to Tony Jones.
Gord, I had a chance to talk with Sean Brantley, the defensive lineman for the Roughriders. Asked him if he was surprised by the way the Gold Miners were running the ball in the first series. He said no, but honestly, Jamie, you'd have to be surprised. This team hasn't scored a rushing touchdown, and they're not known for their run.
That's right. They aren't known for their run this year. It's been primarily David Archer and company throwing the football.
Incomplete on 1st down there, brings up 2nd and 10 from the 25. And again, David Archer goes to the shotgun. We'll see if Saskatchewan can get the rush on. Time for Archer over the middle. Has a man, James Pruitt. And what a catch over the middle by James Pruitt into Saskatchewan territory at the 52-yard line. A gain of 33 yards. David Archer got smoked at the end of that play, but got the ball off to his big target over the middle.
Saskatchewan are coming on a blitz. They're bringing Ron Getz, so David Archer knows instinctively that they're in man coverage. And James Pruitt is one-on-one with Dale Joseph. David Archer paying the price. You see Ron Getz, number 47, comes right up into the middle. David Archer stands in there. But a nice reception. If he hadn't tripped, maybe he would have gone all the way.
It's a 1st down at the Saskatchewan 52-yard line. And back to the ground they go. The carry to Charles Miles. Miles gets outside and dives to about the 43-yard line for a gain of 9.
Charles Miles is a very dangerous running back. Even though he's kind of green, they felt that he hasn't got the great experience. This guy, when he was at East Carolina, was 10th in the NCAA 100 and 200-meter finals. So he has the burners. If he gets outside and gets his shoulders up the field, this guy can take it a long way.
That's one thing Sacramento talking about this year, the upgrade of speed. If the Gold Miners learned anything from last season, it's that in this league you need speed at almost every position. 2nd and 1, and the give in the middle, and an easy 1st down as the carry goes to Troy Mills. And again, the sticks will move for the Sacramento Gold Miners, who are putting together another impressive drive. And the running game seems to have taken a little of the sting out of the Saskatchewan pass rush.
And if you can run the ball that effectively, it takes a lot of pressure off the pass game as well, because people don't get their ears pinned back and start coming hard across the line of scrimmage. I've been very impressed so far with the front 5 of the Sacramento Gold Miners and what they've been able to do with the run blocking.
Midway through the 1st quarter, it's a 1st and 10 from the 37. Archer outside to the sidelines. Has a man open, reversing his field, and now heading upfield. And Tony Hargain has the completion, a gain of 16 yards, and another 1st down for Sacramento. So Hargain comes off the bench, the rookie for the Gold Miners, and gets another 1st down.
Nice semi-roll here. Now watch Anthony Drawer, number 7. He leaves a piece of his equipment back there in the field. As Tony Hargain does a nice job of that little spin move and getting up the sideline.
And the 1st down puts the ball just inside the 22-yard line. 1st and 10 again for Sacramento. 6.5 minutes to play in the 1st quarter. Back to the ground they go. And diving ahead is Charles Miles, who gets a gain of about 5.
That's a nice run by Miles, because that's a search technique. They're giving him the ball deep in the backfield, and they're letting the offensive linemen get their bodies on defensive linemen, and then he has to read it. And for a young running back in the pro leagues, that's a nice job of cutting back. He sees the hole, keeps his legs moving.
Gain was 6, make it 2nd and 4, and Ray Yock sees his defense allowing Sacramento to run virtually at will. Archer with a man deep in the backfield now, tries to screen it off over the middle, but incomplete as Charles Miles wasn't in the right area. And another drive stalls for Sacramento. That was a 7-play effort to get them down to about the 17-yard line, but again the field goal unit will come out.
And you know, David Archer, he must be in the defensive huddle for Saskatchewan, because that was the right call against that defense. They were bringing their inside linebackers, Bernard and Getz, and they had the middle screen set up, but they just couldn't get the ball to Troy Mills.
So back comes Roman Anderson, whose 48-yard field goal earlier in the quarter broke the Gold Miners record for the longest field goal in franchise history. This effort from the 23-yard line. And Anderson again puts it through. He's 2 for 2, and Sacramento now takes a 6-0 lead with 5:49 to play in the first quarter. It's Sacramento leading by 6 on the CFL Live.
2 field goals from 48 and 23 yards has the Gold Miners in front, 6-0. A year ago, the goals of the Gold Miners, well, maybe just not to be embarrassed, but this year the goals are certainly higher.
It's important to win any ball game. Obviously, we want a winning record. We want to be competitive all year. We want to be in the hunt, and ultimately our goal, as should be any team, is to win the Grey Cup. So in order to do that, we've got to, 1, get in the playoffs. 2, we'd like to be in position to have home field advantage. And in the Western Division, that's going to be tough.
Well, Kay Stevenson talks about how tough it is for the Sacramento Gold Miners. Consider the schedule they've got. Play Saskatchewan today, next week BC, then Calgary the following week, then Edmonton, then Winnipeg.
No one said it was going to be easy.
They run right into the teeth of Western Canada. And for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, there's a bewildering problem here. The first quarter, the Riders come into this game having scored only 4 points in 3 games in the first quarter, and it's continuing here as they're losing 6-0 with 5:49 to play in the opening quarter. And Tom Burgess brings the offense out for just its second possession as Sacramento has owned the football here in the opening moments. And Burgess going right back to the air and deep in the pocket with no one near him. Burgess just throws it away as he was trying to set up the screen, but it was well read by the Gold Miners.
It was well read, exactly, Gord. Mark Ledbetter, the defensive lineman, number 73 on the left side, does a great job of recognizing that the screen slides out, and Burgess, to his credit, does not throw the ball to him, throws it away.
Well, the Sacramento Gold Miners have owned the ball. This is just Saskatchewan's 4th offensive play coming up. And Sacramento reeled off an 8-play drive last time. So it's 2nd and 10 from the 35 as the sun sets on Hornet Field and the temperature dips a little bit. And Burgess again with time, steps up in the pocket, looks over the middle and has it picked off. It's intercepted. And Curtis Moore takes it all the way down to the Saskatchewan 33-yard line. Flags are down, but Curtis Moore picks off Tom Burgess, and it's a nightmare start for Saskatchewan.
Illegal block. Sacramento number 73. After the interception, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, Mark Ledbetter gets called for the illegal block, but still, this is a great play by Sacramento.
And great pass protection here. Burgess has time. He steps up, but throwing it back inside, he does not even see Curtis Moore, as Curtis Moore makes a great interception. Looks like a pretty good running back as well with the ball.
He almost caught that out of self-defense. It would have hit him in the face if he hadn't caught it.
The intended receiver was Donald Narcisse.
Well, the penalty moves it back to the 46, but here's Sacramento inside Saskatchewan territory for the 3rd time on 3 possessions. We'll see if this time Sacramento can punch it in the end zone. Here comes the reverse. And not much room to run for Tony Jones, whose second effort gets him back to the line of scrimmage for perhaps a yard, but it'll be 2nd and 9.
Tony Jones, the smallest player in the field tonight. When I was up at their facility watching them practice, they have him listed at 5'7", 150. There's no way in the world this guy is 5'7". I'd say he would be 5'5", 140 pounds, but he has great wheels.
Does he ever? He was 4th in the NFL's fastest man competition back in 1990. So it's 2nd and 9 now from the 45-yard line. Early movement, flags are down, and here's Archer with all kinds of time. Now there's more flags down, and Archer's running for his life. Gets it ahead to Tony Jones, and Jones is into first down territory at the 31, but I think there's going to be a conference here to figure out exactly what went on. It was a gain of 14 yards. Offside Saskatchewan looks to be one of the calls, but it may be holding as well, so it is offside against Saskatchewan, and now Ray Yach can't believe his ears.
Offside. Saskatchewan number 79. Penalty decline, first down.
Gary Lewis had left your screen. You can just see him. He jumps and then he tries to get back on side, but the ball was snapped. Nice job by David Archer, realizing that he's not going to run the ball, and that's not what he gets paid to do. He gets paid to throw it, but nevertheless, he still pays the price from Brooks Findlay, who says hello.
Now first down from the 32, and back to the ground they go, and now with room in the backfield. Bursting through is Troy Mills inside the 20 to the 18. And Troy Mills, the Sacramento Gold Miners' leading rusher coming into this game, has been outstanding in this first quarter.
Well, he is a great average, 9.6 yards per carry. And coming into this, we said, yes, he had one long one that kind of inflated that average. But nevertheless, he is great feet when he gets inside. Run a little trap.
7th first down for the Gold Miners. Saskatchewan has had 2 sequences of 2 and out. So now it's first down from the 17-yard line. Sacramento's been down here twice, unable to get to the end zone. Archer with the fake. Time. Flags are down over the middle as a man in the end zone. Pruitt can't reach it. Now there's flags in the end zone as Drawhorn was too close. So we've got flags in the backfield and flags in the end zone. And again, Dave Ewell has to sort it all out.
Holding, Sacramento number 62. Forward pass interference, Saskatchewan number 7. Penalties offset, first down repeated.
The play never happened. It's the best way to describe it. Anthony Drawhorn can't believe that call went against him, but it's a first down again from the 18-yard line for the Gold Miners. Just under 3 minutes to play here in the first quarter, and it's been all Sacramento, but the Gold Miners haven't been able to take advantage of their opportunities. Archer. Empty backfield. Look out, he's in trouble. Archer throws to the sidelines, incomplete for Pruitt. He was just trying to escape with his life there as he had 3 Saskatchewan Roughriders, including big linebacker Ron Getz, bearing down on him.
And that's a smart play by David Archer to get rid of the ball, especially when you have guys like Ron Getz coming at you. And we were talking to David Archer about Ron Getz, and he said that he said all these superlatives about Ron Getz, saying he was a hard-nosed player and he was this kind of a player, but really what he was trying to say is that guy is one tough son of a gun.
Yeah, but when they use those code words like we noticed him on film.
Right.
Well, the incompletion brings up a 2nd and 10 from the 18-yard line, and you get the sense that if Sacramento comes away with another field goal, it won't be quite good enough. Archer with lots of time, looking in the end zone, and nobody there as Pruitt was wide open, but in the wrong area, and there's another flag down on the play. So it's been Dave Ewell's drive here on Sacramento's 3rd possession.
Holding, Sacramento number 33. Illegal contact on an eligible receiver, Saskatchewan number 33. The holding was 65. Penalties offset, second down repeated.
So another play that didn't happen. It's the twilight zone.
Ask David Archer if it didn't happen. He got cracked on that play, so it happened as far as he was concerned.
Well, a break for Sacramento because there was obviously miscommunication between Archer and Pruitt. They get another shot at it. 2nd and 10. They're going to wear out the 18-yard line. Archer from the shotgun. Again with time. To the end zone. And Harris over top of Drawhorn. Touchdown. Rod Harris with the Sacramento touchdown. And this time they find the end zone. Give them 2 more chances. And this time Sacramento finds the touchdown.
David Archer catches Saskatchewan in man coverage. You've got Rod Harris against Anthony Drawhorn, and good job right here at the end because Harris slows down and uses his body a little bit to screen off Drawhorn, and great concentration. Drawhorn tried to time it to knock the ball away, but great concentration of Rod Harris, and that's 6 points.
And Roman Anderson on for the converts to make it 13-0 Sacramento with 1.5 minutes to play. And so Rod Harris gets the job done for Sacramento. He's the man who caught the winning touchdown pass on the final play last week. This week he's got his team up by 13. Last year, Rod Harris was Sacramento's leading receiver. Last week, he had 2 touchdowns, and tonight he gets Sacramento's first.
Watch that great move right there. He forces Drawhorn to do a speed turn, and that creates separation. Just enough, as you can see, it's out of the reach of Drawhorn, and a great catch by Rod Harris.
And what a throw by David Archer to get him the ball. Caps off the 7-play, 46-yard penalty-marred drive. But again, Sacramento owns the football. The Saskatchewan Roughriders, with 1:35 to play in the first quarter, have run 4 offensive plays, and David Archer was on target there. Rod Harris, a 1,000-yard receiver last year, led this team in receiving. Last week, a 102-yard punt return for a touchdown, and then, of course, a touchdown catch on the final play of the game. So Anderson to kick it off. And here is Larry Thompson now. Thompson looking for some room to run, gets up to the 38-yard line before he's brought down on the play, and that's where Saskatchewan will begin its third offensive possession. Tackle made by Kenny Wilhite, number 25. So Tom Burgess having a tough start here, but that's nothing new for Saskatchewan. We talked about it before. The Riders come into this game after 3 games with 4 total points scored in the first quarter.
And, you know, they would talk about that in the sideline. They would say there's no reason for us to panic right now. We're down 13 points. We've started off slow in the past, and we've come back. So we just have to keep plugging away.
1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. Early movement. The give is straight ahead to Mike Saunders, and Saunders goes nowhere. Mark Ledbetter there to make the tackle. So if Saunders is going to get 1,000 yards this season, it's an uphill climb tonight. Here's the starting offensive lineup for Saskatchewan. Burgess with Daniels and Saunders. Will also see Darrell Wallace in the backfield. Larry Thompson, Dan Farthing, who took Jeff Fairholm's place, Ray Elgar, the all-time leader, and Don Narcisse.
And the offensive line really has been on the field. Rookie Chris Burns, of course, big 300-pounder Dan Payne at right tackle.
2nd and 10. Saskatchewan still does not have a first down. Burgess to the sidelines, and he got it there, but decked as he caught it was Dan Farthing. And a great defensive play is made by Sacramento's Junior Robinson. And also coming up to help with the stop, NFL veteran Bobby Humphrey.
Now, you don't think this ball seems to take forever to get to Dan Farthing? It takes an eternity because he knows that Junior Robinson's coming up. It's just hanging, and then it's pick a rib time.
Ouch. So Humphrey with the big-time play, and here's been the busiest Saskatchewan Roughrider of the night. Brent Matic has punted twice, and Saskatchewan has turned it over once on an interception. Flags are down. Harris from his 23-yard line. Not much room to run, and he gets maybe 3 yards as Saskatchewan's special team unit does a good job hustling downfield, and the tackle's made by Dave Van Bellingham, but again, Dave Ewell has to sort out the call. And it's holding against Saskatchewan. They might get them to do this over again because the punt return was good for about 3 yards. Mark Ledbetter waiting for instructions from Kay Stevenson. And they will do it again.
Holding, Saskatchewan number 21. Before the kick, 10-yard penalty, 3rd down repeated.
Second time in this football game, Dale Joseph has been flagged, and this time it means that Brett Matic will have to punt it again.
That's a good call by Sacramento to send it back, especially when you have Rod Harris back there to return it. This guy is dangerous.
And the Sacramento offense will go back to work after owning the first quarter of this game, leading 13-0. And Brent Matic, who has a 46-yard average coming into this game, is adding to it early on here with a 63-yard punt on his first effort. Now he's kicking from inside his 20 on what should be the final play of the opening quarter. Not nearly as good a kick. It bounces down at about the 45. And this time Harris takes it up to about the 45, so a good call by Stevenson. It works out to about a 20-yard gain in Sacramento's favor. So the first quarter comes to an end, and not too soon for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, who trail this game 13-0. Back to Sacramento in the second quarter right after this. Here at Hornet Field on what's turned out to be a gorgeous night in Sacramento. It was blistering hot yesterday during the day, and a little hot today, but it's tuned down nicely in Sacramento. Look at how it's dominated the opening quarter. 8 first downs to none for Saskatchewan. The Roughriders could not get a first down and turned the ball over once to make things worse. In time of possession, 10:49 to 4:11 for Saskatchewan. But for the Riders, the good news is their nightmare quarter is over, and they've been pretty good for the final 3 quarters, but I'm sure Ray Yawk and the staff will sit down after this game and maybe try to move the start time of the next game. Maybe that'll trick the guys or something. So Sacramento begins the second quarter with the ball at its own 45-yard line, and David Archer has been sharp so far, directing the Sacramento attack. Fake in the backfield. Archer looking deep over the top. Harris has it go just beyond his reach. Is back to make the play for Saskatchewan was Aaron Ruffin.
That is a great play. David Archer just called. They're well executed. They're running faking counter trap, and then they run the bootleg the opposite way. Gives Archer all day to sit in the pocket and try and pick out Harris.
And the pass just beyond his reach.
But you can see even in plays that aren't working successfully for Sacramento, they're still controlling it. I mean, everything is there. They just are missing the completion.
And we mentioned that Rod Harris had the big week last week. He comes in with 232 yards receiving. He was the first Sacramento receiver ever to have a 1,000-yard season. That, of course, came last year. Early movement, that might have been from Sacramento's side as Bobby Jurison was bearing down on David Archer. He's lucky the whistle went. Bobby J, Saskatchewan's all-time leading quarterback sacker, has 3 on the season, now has 104 for his career. And he was looking at number 105 until Dave Ewell called him off. And offside is the call against Saskatchewan.
Offside. Saskatchewan number 71. 5-yard penalty. Second down repeated.
This is a guy you don't want to get mad. I'm sure David Archer would rather say, hey, listen, let's not call any offside against Bobby Jurison. Bobby Jurison, they always list him as a linebacker, but he plays that down lineman, that rush lineman on the outside at the bottom of your screen, number 71.
So it brings up a 2nd and 5. There was definitely early movement that time by Sacramento. I think John Buddenberg, the right guard, moved early.
And I think that's what Bobby Jurison has been arguing about. He's saying that there is movement on the offensive line.
Illegal procedure. Sacramento number 52. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
David Diaz-Infant is called for early movement. This time Bobby J was right. So back they go to where they were before. 2nd and 10 from the 45. 14 minutes to play here in the second quarter. 13-0 Sacramento. It's been all gold miners, largely due to this man, David Archer. 3 receivers at the near side of the field. Archer going over the middle, has a man, but the ball skipped once on its way in. Tony Hargain unable to make the catch.
And that's really the first time tonight, Gord, that the defensive line of Saskatchewan has gotten really in close to David Archer, and that's Gary Lewis doing a nice job. See David Archer sitting in the pockets, had all sorts of room, but you can see right there Lewis just gets to him in time that throws off Archer. He can't make the kind of throw he wants to.
David Archer made the great point to me yesterday. He was saying about the number of times he'd been sacked. He said, you know, think about it. You get sacked 69 times, but how many times are you hurried on a throw? There were so many times when I had to throw the ball, there was someone right in my face. Pete Gardier is back to punt for Sacramento. High punt. Taken by Wallace at his 25-yard line. Evades one tackle and runs into another right at the 32-yard line as Bobby Humphrey got in his face and made the tackle. A 39-yard punt, a return of 3. And so the Saskatchewan Roughriders will try to get things going, still looking for a first down in the football game. Tom Burgess has been criticized in the past in his career for being somewhat streaky. That's one thing that he really ironed out of his game last year with Ottawa. He's much more consistent last year, and this season he's been very consistent. Last week when he left the game with the injury, he was 15 for 22, 176 yards, a pair of touchdowns, no interceptions. On first down, the give is to Wallace, who batters his way across the 40 to about the 42, close to a first down after a gain of 9.
This is what Saskatchewan have to get themselves in, Gord. They have to get themselves into second and short situations so that they do not force Burgess to get back in that pocket and everybody's teeing off on him from Sacramento.
And 24-hour workout.
You see Sean Daniels standing at Ray Yock's side. Daniels returning to Saskatchewan, where he won a Grey Cup ring with the Riders back in 1989. And that's the first down for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. It comes with 12:56 to play in the second quarter, and not a moment too soon for Ray Yock and company.
Things are looking up for Saskatchewan.
Maybe this field is tilted to the right. That's the problem. It's too hard to go to the left. It's uphill or something. So it's a first down from the 43-yard line. One back in the backfield for Burgess. Quick step. Fires it out and completes it there to Mike Saunders, and Saunders has a gain of a 9 again. Should be close to another Saskatchewan first down. And a nice looking play coming out of the Saskatchewan backfield.
Well, it looks like Saskatchewan's offense starting to settle down. Tom Burgess going with a quick pass, just leaks out the running back Saunders. A little circle route inside and puts a ball right in the money.
One thing about Mike Saunders, an outstanding receiver. And when he was brought up to this team, that's one of the things Saskatchewan talked about, is they had a dynamite runner and a guy who was dangerous out of the backfield. Just short of the first down this time, it looks like, maybe half a yard. And the first thing you think at this point, when it's 2nd and inches, watch out for over the top.
Absolutely. It's a throwaway down right now. You can use one because you can go for it in 3rd down with a yard between the football and the defense. It should be a sure thing.
But defensive backs watch out for that now, don't they? I mean, they're not going to get caught napping.
Everybody's looking for it. It's play action that causes the problems.
4 backs in the backfield. Now 3 of them swing out to the near side. Burgess gives it off. And throwing deep. Man wide open. Larry Thompson. And Thompson in a foot race to the end zone. Brought down at the 3. So just as we talked about it, Burgess with the play action fake goes over the top to Larry Thompson, and only the safety Tom Gerhardt prevented the touchdown.
Well, there was a blown coverage there for Sacramento. You can see that obviously, but number 24, Jason Wallace, gets himself out of position, and Tom Gerhardt, the safety, number 45, he goes off. He thinks Narcisse is getting the ball. Then he comes back inside to Larry Thompson. So you had Gerhardt trying to cover for Wallace, who was out of position, and he ends up making the tackle.
Tack on 54 yards, those 2:33, and gives Saskatchewan a first down at the Sacramento 3. So the oldest play in the book comes back to haunt the Sacramento Gold Miners. Here's Saunders on first down, trying to get to the corner in a foot race, and he'll win it easily. Touchdown, Saskatchewan. Mike Saunders with the Riders' first rushing touchdown of the season.
Touchdown run for Saskatchewan.
And so the Saskatchewan Roughriders got the first quarter blues out of their way and quickly come back thanks to that big 2nd down play to Larry Thompson.
Tom Burgess finally getting things going for the Saskatchewan offense. Ray Yawk looking a little bit happier.
You can thank Larry Thompson in that 54-yard gain. Dave Ridgway with the conversion. And the Saskatchewan Roughriders on the board, now trail by 6.
Gold Miners 13, Saskatchewan 7.
Mike Saunders gets his first touchdown of the season and gets the Saskatchewan Roughriders back in the football game. The CFL Live from Sacramento will continue.
Ray Yawk talking with Ray Elgard, Tom Burgess, saying that's more like it, fellas. They're on the board, now trailing 13-7. Ray Yawk and his thoughts on what he planned to do this evening.
We have a ball control type throwing game. We're seeking some type of efficient running game, which can produce some effective yards. And then we'll sort of take things as they come, and we'll venture out to some wild things a little bit later on. But right now we're trying to formulate a philosophy with our team on what we want to do offensively and defensively.
Well, after seeing his team go without a first down in the opening quarter, Ray Yawk said to heck with ball control. We're going over the top. Larry Thompson with the 54-yard gain, the big portion of that 78-yard 4-play drive that culminates in Mike Saunders' first rushing touchdown of the season and Saskatchewan's first as well. And now it's up to Sacramento to answer back.
Ridgway will kick off.
And Dave Ridgway will have to tee it up one more time. Not much wind. What there is blowing in Ridgway's face. Beautiful night in Northern California. And Ridgway hoofs it deep. Here's Charles Miles. Miles waits for his blocks to set up, gets across the 30, and not much further as Aaron Ruffin runs him down and drags him down at about the 34-yard line. So David Archer and this impressive Sacramento offense go back to work with 11:03 to play in the second quarter and the lead down to 6.
Ball to 34, first and 10, Gold Miners.
And the kind of night Archer's having already, 87 yards and a touchdown. Of course, now in the league, the way things are going, 87 yards early in the second quarter is nothing. Look at 600 and 700-yard passing games. Last night, Doug Flutie only passed for just under 300 yards. First down from the 33-yard line. Archer on the fake. Time goes over the middle, has a man, he dropped the ball. Rod Harris was open over the middle, he dropped the football. Maybe he heard Anthony Drawhorn coming.
I think that's exactly the case. Rod Harris normally sure-handed coming across the middle. Did a nice job here. They actually brought Pruitt down in front, and then they bring in Harris behind him. Ooh, that's just trying to get your head up looking to run before you catch the football.
Rod Harris with all kinds of wheels. Now has his team leading 4th touchdown with that reception in the opening quarter. 2nd and 10 now from the 33, and David Archer will go back to the shotgun. Again, he has time initially. Now he's forced to run. Archer has some room, but does he have the speed? He got a block. He dives to the 45 and gets the first down as Ron Getz was hunting him down, but not before the Sacramento quarterback got the first down, and that is not his specialty.
That's not his specialty at all, but it looks like he's gotten the first down. David Archer was expecting man coverage. He didn't get it. They switched into zone at the last moment. It confused him, and he said, hey, listen, I'm just going to tuck that ball down and take it up the field and try and get as much as I possibly can. Nice job by Archer to stretch out and having great awareness of where the first down marker is.
David Archer was a good running quarterback once, but that was during Ronald Reagan's first term, I think. Those days long gone. But that time he rambles for 11 and gets a first down at about the 45-yard line. And that time, too much time by Sacramento as they were late with some substitutions, and time count violation called against the Gold Miners.
And we had an opportunity to talk with David Archer this week, and I asked him, what's the biggest difference that you found between CFL football compared to the American style? And he said, you know, contrary, Jamie, way everybody thinks, it's not the 12th man, it's not the width of the field or anything else, it's the pace of the game. It's only 20 seconds, whereas in the NFL it's 45 seconds. And he said, so things have to happen so much more quickly, and it's hard for me to get a real read on the defense before the snap of the ball.
So the penalty makes it now 1st and 15 from the 40-yard line. And Archer now with 4 receivers to one side of the field goes that way to Harris. This time he makes the catch. Brought down at the 53-yard line by Anthony Drawhorn, about 3 yards short of the first down. Gain of 13.
Well, David Archer got the coverage that he wanted the first time. That's man coverage by Saskatchewan. And if you give a quarterback time in man coverage, a quarterback the caliber of David Archer, he's going to burn you. And you can see how he finds Rod Harris in the open doing the out.
Good play by Anthony Drawhorn, though, to prevent him from getting the first down. Brings up a 2nd and 2, that awkward distance.
So tough to defend at this short yardage.
They give ahead to Mills, who bulls his way up to about midfield. And we'll see if he got the first down. They'll spot it very close to the first down distance. Right on the Gold Miner helmet at center field. And it is a first down Sacramento. So the Gold Miners answer back here after the Saskatchewan touchdown with an impressive drive of their own.
Talked about how big the offensive line is for Sacramento. See that surge right there? You actually have some of the linemen pushing the back forward, making sure he gets first down. But nothing takes the steam out of another team after they come back with a big touchdown reception than a long, sustained drive. When you have your offense, it's already geared to go, and all they can do is to sit and watch on the sidelines.
First down from center field. Archer has time. A flag is down. This is coming back. Mills is wide open, but holding is going to be the call against Sacramento as Bobby Jurison was poleaxed in the backfield, and this is coming back. Too bad, because it was a pretty good play by Troy Mills to get open.
Holding, Sacramento number 53. 10-yard penalty, first down repeated.
Chris Dyko, second-year Sacramento Gold Miner, is called for holding, and here's why.
Bobby Jurison trying to take the inside rush. That's not holding. That's tackling. Guarantee he doesn't have that smile on his face right now.
A Washington State Cougar. And he puts his team in a 1st and 20 situation back at the 45-yard line. And Dyko comes out of the football game. 26-9 total plays now for Sacramento. And talk about impressive ball control. That's been the Gold Miners calling card. Halfback blitz by Sacramento. And Archer reads it, but he can't hit his intended receiver, Tony Hargane. Saskatchewan sent its 6th defensive back, Dale Joseph, in on the blitz. Archer knew it, but couldn't get the ball to the target.
And just a great job by the offensive line and the running backs in particular, again, to pick up the blitz. Again, Tony Hargane going up high, but a nice defensive play by Vincent Donaldson.
Brings up a 2nd and 20 now with 7.5 minutes to play in the second quarter of this football game. Sacramento opened up a 13-0 lead after 15 minutes, but Saskatchewan has come back to cut the lead to 6. And now here's Archer on 2nd and 20. To the sidelines to Hargane. He's got it, but not much more as Albert Brown brings him down, and then they ruled no catch. So the second official comes in to help out on the call, and Sacramento forced to punt as Saskatchewan will get its offensive unit back on the field quickly. So even if Tony Hargane made that catch, Albert Brown made sure he wasn't going anywhere. And the punter, Pete Gardier, comes back in, the all-time leading passer for the Texas Longhorns. So he's a threat from punt formation. On 3rd and 20, I don't think Sacramento will try anything here. Another high kick by Gardier. Taken by Wallace at the 13-yard line. Wallace looking for room to run, finds very little and doesn't get back to his own 20. More great work by the Sacramento special teams as Robert Turner hustles down to make the tackle. And Saskatchewan gets ready to go back on offense.
California Gold Miners with the lead on Saskatchewan, just under 7 minutes to play in the first half. Last night in the CFL, Mike Kerrigan, 4 touchdowns. Toronto built a big lead, then held on to beat the Las Vegas Posse at the Sky Dome. And guess who? Yeah, Doug Flutie, a wonderful night. Calgary absolutely demolished British Columbia, 62-21. So both those teams now 3-1 in the CFL West.
And Steve Taylor came in to replace Doug Flutie when that game got out of hand. How about his numbers? 4 for 4 with 2 touchdowns.
I'll tell you what, that makes Coach Wally Wano very, very happy when his backup quarterback can come in and play like that.
I'll tell you what, the West is tough this year in the CFL. I mean, you look at the teams in the West Division, the way they can put points on the board. Defensive coordinators must cringe. Saskatchewan starts 1st and 10 from its own 19-yard line. Burgess with time has this one knocked down. So Burgess has the pass rejected at the line of scrimmage.
Second down.
Greg Jolson makes the knockdown and brings up 2nd down now for Saskatchewan.
They always teach defensive linemen when a quarterback goes to cock the ball, get your hands up high in the air, and you can see that's exactly what he does. What a nice, that'd be a great spike in volleyball.
2nd and 10 for the 19. 4-man rush. Burgess has time. Flags are down, and so is Burgess. Sacked on the play by Curtis Moore. And holding will be the call against Saskatchewan. So somebody held but didn't do a very good job.
Didn't hold him long enough.
And you can bet that'll be declined. What a game for Curtis Moore so far.
This is just a great surge by
Catcher number 63.
Curtis Moore. You can see Todd Burgess heads there, and then bang, he's gone.
So it brings up a 3rd down situation, and Brent Mudich will punt from his own end zone. This time into the breeze. And there are 11 Sacramento Gold Miners on the line of scrimmage looking to put the heat on Mudich. Gets it away just at a high spiraling kick taken by Harris at the 48 on the run. And Harris fights his way down to the 38-yard line, so the Sacramento Gold Miners will enjoy great field position. With 6 minutes to play in the 2nd quarter, it's Sacramento 13, Saskatchewan 7 on the CFL Live.
The CFL Live on TSN returns Wednesday. Calgary Stampeders, Doug Flutie. What a show he put on last night, destroying the BC Lions. They'll be at Ottawa to play the Roughriders Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern at Frank Clair Stadium. The CFL Live on TSN.
And the wind's picked up a little bit here in the second. Having a little problem with fires in the Sacramento area, and it's getting a little hazy here tonight as the wind picks up and starts blowing in some of that smoke from the surrounding area. But still a gorgeous night all in all. And the Sacramento Gold Miners with great field position after Tom Burgess was sacked deep in his own end. The punt from Brett Mudich returned to the 38-yard line, where Sacramento takes over 1st and 10. And here they come again along the ground, Charles Miles. And Miles close to a 1st down as he gets down about the 28-yard line. And it is indeed another Sacramento 1st down along the ground.
And that's a great call because Bobby Jurison plays to the wide side of the field. You can see they take advantage of his pass rush. He's working up the field, and then they run the ball up underneath him. That's a good call by Kay Stevenson and David Archer.
And a gain of 10 for Charles Miles, the rookie, who's done an impressive job, and Sacramento doesn't look to be missing Mike Oliphant too badly. Archer quickly now. They set up the screen to the flanker. Here's Tony Hargain. And Hargain fights his way down to the 22-yard line for a gain of 6. There's a play you don't see very much, the old Terry Greer flanker screen.
Executed very well to Tony Hargain. They get all the receivers outside. It's a slip screen, then they'll run Mills underneath, and he'll block, and then he cuts back up inside. Sacramento is doing a great job in executing tonight on offense.
They mark it as a gain of 6, make it 2nd and 4 from the 22, and the wind is really kicking up now. Back along the ground they go to Mills, and Troy Mills battles his way to about the 17-yard line. Should have another first down for Sacramento.
First down, goal line.
And it is indeed.
Saskatchewan are given that front. It's a 40 front with 4 down linemen, and the linebackers are inside. It's a great defense in which to run off tackle, and it looks like David Archer's had great success doing that, so they're continuing to go after it all the time. And they always seem to want to run it to Jurison's side because they're so afraid of him working up the field. They feel they can slip it underneath him.
Now first down from the 18-yard line. Archer quickly over the middle, has a man open and gets it to Tony Jones, who's down to the 3-yard line before Albert Brown makes the tackle. It's another first down for Sacramento. First and goal now from the 4.
2 receivers are going inside, Rod Harris and of course Tony Jones, and he puts the ball right on the money. Albert Brown with the coverage.
And so Sacramento moves the ball nicely down the field, gets a first and goal from the 4. Now they bring in the big lads.
Sacramento just seems to be playing with so much confidence. You just feel it when they're on the field offensively.
They've got their short yardage offense in on first and goal from the 4. Mills picking his way close. A ball comes loose. Saskatchewan fighting for it. It was Charles Miles on the carry. Let's see who came up with it. Oh, this would be disaster for Sacramento. The Riders say they've got it back, and Dave Ewell's got to pick it out. And it is indeed Saskatchewan football as the Rider offense comes back on the field. What a disastrous turn of events for the Sacramento Gold Miners. Now, if this ball crossed the goal line,
it's a great play. They run trap it. Then he cuts inside. Now there's going to be official right. Ooh.
That looked to me like the ball was in the end zone, in which case it should have been a touchdown.
Well, as soon as it breaks the plane of the goal line, it is a touchdown.
Well,
now the official couldn't see the ball, so that's why he probably didn't give the signal. But it looked to us at where he was holding the ball, looked like his shoulder was over the goal. They run the trap again. David Diaz Infante. It's a nice job. He's carrying the ball in the right hand.
I think he was in.
I think so too.
It's a first down Saskatchewan from the 25. What a break for the Riders, and here they come again. And Mike Saunders, room to run all the way to midfield. Saunders finally forced out of bounds at the Saskatchewan 54, a gain of 29 yards. And the tackle is finally made by Jason Wallace, but not before Saunders quickly brings his team up the field with 3:02 to play in the opening half.
You're talking about Mike Saunders, the type of explosive back that he really is. Look, he gets that feint inside, and then he bounces it outside. Now it's a foot race. He's a fun back to watch.
So the 3-minute warning has been sounded. Tom Burgess and company were facing disaster a moment ago. Now they're threatening. We'll return to Sacramento right after this.
Sacramento's defense back on the field. The ball on the 54, and it is Saskatchewan first and 10. Jamie, their defensive coordinator, Urbanek, wants the secondary to play a little softer, and if the corners press, then the halfbacks have to watch. They thought they got caught in that drive that led to the touchdown. Just everybody being a little too aggressive.
Here's the pitch by Burgess, getting it outside. Kind of a wobbly looking pitch, but they pick up a couple of yards as Mike Saunders pulls his way ahead. What do you think of that, Jamie?
I think that's right. I think they should go and play a little bit softer right now and force Saskatchewan to move the ball. Now, they got caught in a situation where Wallace was out of position, and poor Tom Gerhardt got caught. He tried to play two receivers, and Tom Burgess, when he saw that, I'm sure his eyes just lit up and went, there's no way you can cover him off. He looked at Narcisse, and then he threw it back. And I think that's what you're going to see Sacramento do a little bit more of now, play a little bit more softer defense.
Saunders picked up 5 at 2nd and 5. Flags are down, and this play is coming back as there are flags all over the field. There was early movement.
And that's exactly what Tom Burgess is seeing right now. They're giving a man look initially, but then they're getting out of it and going into zone.
And Dave Ewell again with a call. I'll tell you what, I think Saskatchewan dodged a bullet a moment ago because it looked to me like Sacramento had scored a touchdown. And the difference between going to the dressing room down 20-7 and perhaps taking the lead here is huge.
Illegal procedure. Saskatchewan number 81. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down repeated.
Honest to goodness, first time in maybe 5 years I've seen Ray Elgard called offside.
He certainly was there. Look at all the offensive linemen are still in their stances, and Ray Elgard's 5 yards up the field.
There are coaches in this league who will tell you that Ray Elgard is offside on every play.
It's pretty close.
But that's his move. It's like Michael Jordan. He doesn't travel. That's his move. Here's Burgess now, under pressure, scrambling, and now goes back over the middle, complete to Dan Farthing, and Farthing down to the 36-yard line has a Saskatchewan first down. Great play by Tom Burgess to get away from the initial rush and find Dan Farthing.
It was a nice job by Burgess. Again, Sacramento are content to play zone and force Tom Burgess to try and pick him apart. They think they can get the pass rush on him, flush him out of the pocket, gains his composure, and he finds Farthing. Nice move by Farthing right there. Little dip shoulder, and then he turns and gets his shoulders up the field.
Gain of 20 for Farthing, who had his best game as a pro last week against the Toronto Argonauts. First down from the 36. Burgess with all kinds of time goes to the near side of Larry Thompson looking for a block. And Thompson gets inside the 30 to about the 28-yard line. He had Mike Saunders out in front of him for some interference.
And right beside us, Gord, we can hear the Saskatchewan spotters. All they're yelling out there, get up the field. Don't cut back inside. Don't dance around. After you catch the football, this is a nice job. He goes off of the block of Daniels after he catches it. But now right here, he's got to take it and knife right up the field. Don't do this. Don't come back.
It's a gain of 7, make it 2nd and 3. And Larry Thompson had that big 54-yard gain earlier in the game to set up Saskatchewan's first touchdown. Saunders going nowhere, bottled up for a loss of a couple. Great play by the Sacramento defense as Maurice Miller, the middle linebacker, came up to help out with the play, along with Leonard Nelson.
Try the long trap, and they're going to try and trap Corian Freeman, number 50, the linebacker. Nothing doing. He stuffs it up right there to force the Saunders outside. Just too much pursuit.
If Sacramento does have a weakness, it might be the fact that 2 of its 3 starting linebackers are CFL rookies, and that's a lot to ask a rookie, especially at the outside linebacker position. But that time they came up and did the job. Now it's Dave Ridgway for the field goal try from the 38-yard line. He hasn't missed this year from inside 40. Puts this into the wind and good. And so the Saskatchewan Roughriders cut the lead to 3 with 1:16 to play in the opening half. And Saskatchewan gets a field goal out of that drive after the fumble is called at the goal line. Let's go down to the sidelines for Vic Rauter's report. Vic?
Well, coming up at halftime, we'll return to our TSN Control Center for a sports break. We'll talk with Tom Bass, legendary name in the NFL, now making his mark in the CFL, the president and CEO of the Gold Miners. And, of course, Gord and Jamie will have their story of this first half, 13-10 now, Gold Miners leading. And it's a final in Shreveport. Edmonton wins 24-10, so now the Eskimos 3-1 in the West, as well as the Lions and the Stampeders. Shreveport 0-4.
And the winner of this game will join them at 3-1. Here's Archer now looking deep and had Pruitt for a minute, but what a great defensive play. As hustling back to make the deflection for Saskatchewan was Vincent Donaldson, who just knocked it out of Pruitt's hands at the last moment.
That's textbook zone defense right there. This is perfect. The corner's up tight. They're trying to get into the seam behind him, but he comes back. There's no one holding him up tight.
And Archer thought he had this one. So it brings up a second down for Sacramento from the 35-yard line. Still more than a minute to play here in the opening half. So if Saskatchewan stops them here, you can bet they'll call timeout and get the ball back with about a minute to play. Archer had time, had a man brought down in front of him, now gets it to Pruitt. Now he drops the ball, incomplete, as Pruitt had it for a moment at the 50. And Sacramento will be forced to punt with 1:03 on the clock.
Did you see who was coming to hit Pruitt? I think he took his eyes off the ball because none other than Ron Getz, number 47, was barreling down on him.
You know, everyone will talk about that three-way trade in the offseason that saw the quarterback change position, but Ron Getz going to Saskatchewan was a big move for the Riders.
You see Getz coming right here, and it looks like he's going to lay the licking on him. Just took his eye off.
So Pete Gardier is back to punt. And Saskatchewan will have some time, and if the Riders can get some field position, they could at least get a field goal. Gardier with a nice punt. Taken by Wallace at the 33, bobbles it a moment, and now has some room to run. Up across the 40 to the 46-yard line. And so the Saskatchewan Roughriders, with 51 seconds to play in the half, will get a chance to put some more points on the board, perhaps even tie the football game. Well, what a reversal of fortune for Saskatchewan when you look at the fact that they're facing first and goal for Sacramento deep in their own territory, thinking they're likely going to give up the touchdown. Sacramento fumbles at the goal line, and now Saskatchewan comes back to pull within 3 and can even it up or take the lead before the half.
No question, that was a 10-point swing right there because they got the ball back and went down the field and kicked a field goal.
And we've got an injured Sacramento goal miner on the play. It's Leonard Nelson, the linebacker who made that play a moment ago. And he'll receive some attention at midfield. Leonard Nelson, one of those newcomers who also played on this field in his college career. He's another Sacramento State product.
Leonard Nelson coming into your screen from your left, puts a pretty good lick on. Looks like he took a knee in the back. He was getting up.
He seemed all right when he got up, and then he dropped back down on the turf. He might have taken a knee to the helmet or something on his way down and didn't realize he was hurt till he got back up. That happened to Tom Burgess last week.
Looks like the wind's kind of knocked out of him, and they're just getting him under control. Number 90 takes a big hit. Leonard Nelson. Nice stick. And he takes the knee in the back from his own teammate, Tom Gerhardt. I think he might have just gotten the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah, he's up quickly and should be all right. They'll need him back out there as Saskatchewan has the ball here.
Leonard Nelson, the injured goal miner, coming off.
And so it's a first down for Saskatchewan from its own 47-yard line. I think Ray Yauch was arguing there that on the kick there was play below the waist, which is of course against the rules.
And the players are saying Ray Yauch has mellowed over the years. He looked pretty animated there.
Well, maybe between games he's mellowed. First down from the 47, Burgess from the shotgun. First time we've seen that tonight. Long way outside to Larry Thompson, who makes the catch and does not get out of bounds. He's down to the 49-yard line. Gerhardt jumped in there looking for the interception. Then he had it, would have gone all the way the other way. But Thompson did get out of bounds, and the clock will begin rolling in a few seconds.
Nice catch by Thompson to keep his eye on the ball as Bobby Humphrey came flying through there.
Gain of 13 on the play, gets them inside Sacramento territory to the 50. One more first down, they'll be inside Ridgway's range. Burgess waving his receiver to go downfield. Here's Thompson jumping for the catch. Did he make it? Yes. First down at the 17-yard line. What a grab by Thompson. And Burgess was directing him to hurry down the field.
And a nice job by Burgess because he sees that Frank has his back to him, that he can't make the play.
And he was out of bounds.
Unless they forced that he would set a rule that he would have come down inbounds unless Frank had pushed him.
It's a gain of 33. You need 1 foot down, but he was clearly on the stripe. Now, are they ruling that Malcolm Frank pushed him out? That must be the ruling.
I think that's the ruling. But a nice job by Burgess to recognize that the defensive back cannot make the play with his back to you. He doesn't know where the ball is.
4 catches for 107 yards for Thompson. First down now at the 18-yard line with 32 seconds to play. And Burgess wants it all. Throwing to the end zone for Thompson. It's over his head.
He had him.
What a drive for Saskatchewan. With 27 seconds left, a second and goal from the 17-yard line. And here's another look at the catch by Larry Thompson.
Nice body control. Now Frank's looking at his eyes. You know, his eyes get big as saucers when he's going to go up for the football, and then he turns around and tries to play it. But the referee obviously ruled that Frank was pushing him out of bounds, and he would have come down in bounds if Frank had not been there.
So it's second down from the 17-yard line. A chance for Burgess to look to the end zone one more time, which he does. Thompson makes the catch and has a first down at the 5 with 20 seconds left. Suddenly Larry Thompson is Tom Burgess' favorite receiver.
First down, Saskatchewan.
Larry Thompson has been a one-man gang on this drive for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, who now have it 1st and goal from the 5. And the clock starts to run. Burgess quickly over the middle, had a man Saunders, but Saunders was on the turf when the ball was thrown, and he wants an interference call.
He's trying to say Tommy Smith, number 55, the outside linebacker, pushed him when the ball was in the air. The official didn't see it.
So it brings up 2nd and goal from the 5. 6th play of the drive. 12 seconds to play now in the opening half, and Saskatchewan threatening to take the lead. Riders trailed this game 13-0 after 15 minutes. Here's Burgess with time on the run, throwing it, and his intended receiver, Sean Daniels, wasn't looking. Hit him in the back.
Tom Burgess dodged the bullet right there because he threw that ball blindly. He did not see Jason Wallace just sitting there. Now, this is a case in point where you don't give anything up. If it's not there, throw it away. At least get the field goal, but he just throws that out there. Sean Daniels doesn't see it, and Jason Wallace almost intercepts this one, and if he had him, he would have taken it the distance.
36, Dave Ridgway.
That was clearly behind the intended receiver, so now Dave Ridgway from 12 yards out. This for the tie. And Ridgway puts it through. No flags in the play, so the Saskatchewan Roughriders have tied this game at 13 after an impressive drive by Tom Burgess and Larry Thompson.
I think what's puzzling about this is that the wind is in their face, but everybody's scoring into the wind.
So 4 seconds remaining now in the opening half. It's been a pretty entertaining half. It was all Sacramento in the first, all Saskatchewan in the second. It's like tennis. When you have served, you score the points. And interestingly enough, with the option, Sacramento will elect to make Saskatchewan kick off here instead of taking it from their 35 and trying one shot for the end zone. I guess figuring their chances of perhaps getting a big return are better than they are of scoring a touchdown with one play in the half. So it's typical Saskatchewan Roughrider football, not much in the first quarter, and then they rev it up in the second, and they've come back to tie this football game at 13.
Now, this is a case right now where the wind is in Dave Ridgway's face. He should try and sky the ball as high as he can to allow his team to come down and maybe recover it and go down instantly, because they would at least get one more play in, because the clock will not start until the ball is touched.
Ridgway will kick off.
Dave Ridgway just pooches it up nice and high, and here come the Riders trying to get a look at it, but they will not. And it's quickly scooped up by Kenny Wilhite, who runs out of bounds with 2 seconds left on the clock in the opening half. That was a long 2 seconds.
Sure was. See Ray Yaw kind of smiling about that, saying, hey, who's controlling the clock here?
Might be the guy that used to do it at Taylor Field, because he was pretty good at milking the final few seconds for an extra couple of days. And now I think they've decided that they're going to call halftime, because that was the longest 2 seconds in football history. And Dave Ewell has some sorting out to do, but the players are going back to where they were. Are they going to put time back on the clock? Well, whatever it is, the gold miners aren't happy about it. The Riders are halfway off the field. Well, this should be interesting. It's 4 seconds back on the clock, and Ray Ock saying, man, I was halfway to the dressing room. I got bad knees. Don't make me do that.
But mentally it's so tough, because you think the half's over, you're walking into the dressing room, and now they tell you got to have to come out and do it again.
Well, hold on, they're going to give Sacramento the ball here with 4 seconds left? I can't do that. Because Wallace did touch the football.
Unless the score clock is not official time.
Oh my goodness. For all of this, they've decided to call it a half. I think Dave was talking it over. He decided to heck with it. Halftime, let's go.
Smart move.
Goal line is 13.
So the mystery of the 4 seconds remains unsolved, but the score even at 13 after an entertaining opening 30 minutes. Halftime coming up next here in Sacramento as Saskatchewan and the Sacramento Gold Miners are even at 13. We'll return right after this.
Welcome back to Hornet Field in Sacramento. Halftime, 13-all. Sacramento and Saskatchewan. Gold Miners scoring their 13 points in the first quarter. Roughriders getting their 13 in the second quarter. People who follow the NFL may know the name Tom Bass. He's developed a reputation. If you've got an expansion team, you want him in management. He's worked with teams such as New England's first-year team, Cincinnati, and Tampa Bay. And so when the Gold Miners took the field a little over a year ago, they called on Tom Bass to be their president and CEO. And before the game, I had a chance to ask Mr. Bass how difficult that first year was.
It was really awfully difficult for us, Vic. We had, we had about 3 months to get started. We had to sign over 90 players before we shook down going into camp. And, we weren't given a lot of the things that the new expansion teams were given, like extra practice days and not making the mandatory cuts and things. So it was difficult for us. And hopefully, we learned a lot from it. We had to change about a third of our football team midway through the year when the NFL cuts were made, but we were able to do that and kind of come together at the end and form a nucleus for this year.
I know that something you're very proud of, in fact, is with the NFL, is your marketing expertise. How have you tried to market this team here in Sacramento?
Well, number one, we've gone out and we've marketed the team as a professional football team. I mean, I don't think anybody has to apologize for the Canadian Football League being a professional league, and that's one of the things that we've been very adamant about in our marketing approach, that we're a professional football team, that we're Sacramento's professional football team, and that people come out and they see good, hard-hitting football action. We've also said that with the thing that drives the market, the thing that drives the people coming in is a product on the field. And so that's been a number one priority of mine, is to make sure, working with Kay Stevenson, that we put the best product on the field.
It's interesting you talked about some of the problems first year. I know the league asked Sacramento and asked you and the people here, what would you do differently? And some of those things, like extra practice time for the expansion teams, they've implemented now.
Yeah, they did, and I think it was only fair, because it's very hard to start up a new football team. And as opposed to the other league where you're given an allocation draft where you get players off the team, we don't do that. So we had requested that, it suggested that they have an expanded negotiation list, that they don't meet the first 2 mandatory cuts and things like that, which I think have helped the 3 franchises.
Well, as I say, whenever there's a new team, they call on Tom Bass. And to this point, congratulations.
Thank you, Vic. It's a lot of fun. It's always nice to start something new and see it grow, and I'm very proud of what we've started here.
Tom Bass, the president and CEO of the Sacramento Gold Miners, and truly one of the very interesting men in professional football. We're at halftime here at Hornet Field, and we're all even. Saskatchewan, Sacramento, 13 apiece.
Saskatchewan and Sacramento tied at 13 after an interesting 30 minutes here at Hornet Field in Sacramento. Jamie Bone, kind of a weird first half. Sacramento dominates the first quarter, Saskatchewan the second. We'll look at the highlights, and first of all, from the first quarter, naturally a Sacramento highlight.
No question. I mean, obviously, David Archer was in fine form, but a great move by Rod Harris to get Anthony Drawhorn turned around, create separation, because he has to do the speed turn, but Archer puts the ball right on the money and a great catch.
So Sacramento leads 13-0 after the opening 15 minutes, but then on 2nd and short, back comes Saskatchewan.
This is just a nice read by Tom Burgess, because poor Gerhard, he gets in trouble with safety. He thinks Narcisse is going to be the receiver. It's Larry Thompson, and Burgess spots him and finds him, delivers it for 54 yards.
Big question, did Charlie Miles fumble before he got to the end zone, or was he in the end zone when he fumbled?
Well, it looks like right here he's got the ball and he breaks the plane of the goal line, and that's a touchdown, but that official is not in the proper position to make the call. It should have been another official. The other linesman should have made it. Consequently, Saskatchewan recover it, and that's a big turnaround.
Yeah, huge play, because instead of Sacramento getting a touchdown, then Saskatchewan drives the ball downfield, kicks a field goal to tie up the football game. So all in all, it turns out to be an interesting sequence of events. What do you think of the first half, and what change would you make for the second?
Well, I think first of all, Ray Yawk, he has to be scratching his head wondering what he has to take to get his team untracked in the first quarter. I'm sure he's glad right now they got things going in the second quarter. He's not going to change too many things. I think if you're Kay Stevenson as well with Sacramento, I think you have to see some positive things. You think a break here, a break there. This game could really be out of reach right now, so I don't think they'll change anything.
And the Cardiac kids from Sacramento right where they want to be, even at halftime, waiting for their big fourth quarter explosion, which it seems always comes. David Archer's warming up for the second half, so are we. We'll have it when we come back. The CFL Live from Hornet Field in Sacramento, California, on a gorgeous night in Northern California. A little hazy in the air from some fires in the area, but a cool breeze is blowing. And the winds of change swept through this game in the opening half. Sacramento scored 13 points in the opening quarter, Saskatchewan 13 in the second, and the two quarterbacks having pretty good nights, although David Archer got off to a hot start and has cooled off a little bit in the second quarter.
And Tom Burgess, look at his numbers. When you consider Saskatchewan in the first quarter had 4 yards of total offense, it shows you how they really made their turnaround as Burgess warming up in the sidelines.
And Tom Burgess engineered a nifty drive there in the last few seconds to get Saskatchewan even just before the opening half expired. So here's a look at the numbers through 30 minutes of play. And remember, Sacramento had an 8-0 lead in the first down category at one point. So Saskatchewan has made it a little more respectable. In fact, in terms of net yards, the two teams with very little to choose between them. Both teams have turned the ball over once. And remember, the Sacramento turnover was a fumble at the goal line.
But you can tell how this game has progressed as well. Look at the time of possession, almost 20 minutes for Sacramento, 10 minutes for Saskatchewan. So it really has been, for the most part, in terms of ball control, Sacramento. Saskatchewan's been scoring on big plays, a third down and short play, or second down and short play, of course, to Larry Thompson.
And we talked about the running game. Remember, Mike Oliphant, Sacramento's outstanding running back, has been injured and will likely be out for 4 to 6 weeks. But still, Sacramento hasn't missed a beat along the ground. And there's the man who said he'd like to keep the ball along the ground more. But, of course, when you fall down 13-0, it's tough to run the ball.
Now, this is the exact opposite right now for these two coaches, because you take a look at Sacramento in the third quarter. They've only scored 2 points in the third quarter, whereas Saskatchewan now coming into the third have scored 24. So it's been much more productive for Saskatchewan. This is the quarter that concerns Kay Stevenson, and it has to concern David Archer.
2 points in 3 third quarters is unbelievable in this league, and no wonder they have fourth quarter heroics. They have to. They've scored nearly half the points that they've scored this season in the fourth quarter. And Sacramento will get the ball to open this second half. Tony Jones is back deep to receive. And Dave Ridgway will kick it off. Kick down to the near side to Charles Miles. Miles reverses his field, gets away from a little bit of traffic, tries to pick his way up to the 40 and does. Flags are down as Miles gets up to the 42-yard line. Well, we talked about David Archer's improved confidence. He talked to us about it before this football game.
Well, I think so. I think that I feel better about the game. I started feeling pretty good about it late in the season last year. Last 6 games of the year, I started feeling real comfortable. But we still have made some changes on offense, and I'm still trying to make some adjustments to some of the receivers that keep getting shuttled in here and there. But the offensive line solid. Troy Mills is playing really well for us at fullback. And, of course, Rod Harris is a mainstay. So we got some guys in there that I'm very familiar with. I'm familiar with their body language. I'm familiar with when they're going to do certain things. Those are all positives. Now I got to get the ball to them, let them operate.
And tonight he's gotten the ball to him, but sometimes they've dropped it. That was a problem for Sacramento in the second quarter. The penalty was an illegal block, put Sacramento back 1st and 10 from its own 26-yard line. And Archer right up to throw off the bootleg. Now trying to throw back across the green and looking deep. He's got a man open for a second, and he makes the catch. Tony Hargame. What a throw by David Archer from the near hash marks to the far sideline. What a throw.
I mean, that's a 50-yard completion, but that ball had to be in the air at least 80 yards.
The gain officially is 44, but Jamie, as you said, from the near side to the far side, a long, long way.
And the experts say this cannot be done. Look at that. He's on the other side of the hash. He throws all the way back across the field. There's no way you should be able to complete this. That's why Donaldson was so far inside, but coming down to him, it looked like a punt.
Vincent Donaldson can hardly believe that ball even got there. What a throw by Archer. Gets Sacramento down inside Saskatchewan territory to the 39-yard line. We'll get the Pythagoras theory out and figure out just how far that ball went. Archer gets hit this time. Throws it over the middle, has a man open again, and it is a touchdown to Trey Everett. Trey Everett makes the catch. As Archer got nailed at the end of that play, he hangs on, so does Everett, and Sacramento is back on top 2 plays into the quarter. A 39-yard touchdown to Trey Everett.
This is incredible. You take a look at Trey Everett. He's really the big receiver in this team. This time he runs down the field. Now Archer's pressured, and everybody thinks that he's throwing it short. You can see the halfback coming across the screen. Everett makes a great catch, making sure that his elbows are on the field and the ball is in his arms against his body, and then he has the foresight to get up and get into the end zone. What a big play.
So after playing ball control in the opening half, Sacramento says to heck with that. A 2-play scoring drive. And David Archer's mammoth throw to set that up is the play that did it. Convert's good, and Sacramento, just like that, is back on top 20-13. And take another look at the catch by Everett and how close this ball was to hitting the ground.
Now, when you see, it looks like the ball's being thrown to Rod Harris, and that's why Aaron Ruffin, number 33, he comes across to try and tackle Rod Harris. But the ball's overthrown, and it actually gets to Trey Everett. He makes a great play.
And David Archer never saw it.
Well, they're running naked bootleg, and that's the price you have to pay. David Archer showing great courage to stand in there.
And he got whacked at the end of that play by Brooks Findlay. How often are quarterbacks staring at the lights when their receivers are celebrating touchdowns in the end zone? Well, the 2-play 83-yard drive is capped by Everett's 39-yard touchdown, and Sacramento comes out, so they're going to play alternate quarters, I guess.
I was going to say, so much for that bad third quarter. They kind of dispelled that myth in a hurry. Trey Everett, the speedster, he's really been the big guy that they've gone to this season.
Here's Larry Thompson from the 10. Thompson running a long way. Curtis Moore tried to get a shoelace. He couldn't. Thompson finally gets up to the 28-yard line. He ran a long way to get there, but didn't get much as the tackle's made by Leonard Nelson.
I'm not a big fan of that kind of return, Gord, because I think that's exactly what it does. It just strings it out, and I know they're trying to set up the wall. I like it when they try to take it right up the middle, because that's when usually things are broken. When the guys are running down the lanes, they don't get settled down, and you can find a little seam and take it a big way.
So Burgess brings out the offense, and they left the dressing room tied. Saskatchewan hadn't touched the ball yet. They're down 7, and Tom Burgess has not yet completed a pass to Don Narcisse. And Narcisse is usually a major part of this Saskatchewan offense. A fake off tackle. Now he heads up the field looking for Elgard, but the play is broken up by the cornerback, Malcolm Frank. And Elgard hasn't caught many balls either tonight.
Yeah, that's the thing about zone defense is when you're running into zones, you've got to recognize that as a receiver and kind of pull up and stop. You can see Elgard continues to go across, and he runs right into Frank because Frank is just playing the short zone.
If you had said to the Saskatchewan Roughriders before this game that after one half neither Ray Elgard or Don Narcisse would have a catch, they'd say we're in deep trouble. Brings up second down from the 28. Narcisse is lined up to the near side with Elgard. And he's looking that way. Burgess completes it to Don Narcisse. First down at the 40-yard line, and the beat goes on for Don Narcisse. He has now caught a pass in 112 games, and that's the number of games he's played for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. There's never been a game where he's been a spectator. The only receiver in CFL history to have 5 consecutive 1,000-yard receiving seasons.
It's a nice job. He attacks the inside shoulder, then he knifes outside, makes a nice cut. Both hands on the ball, looks it in. Right to the first down marker. Experienced receiver.
Gets his team first down at the 40-yard line. Here comes Saunders. Mike Saunders bounces outside and picks his way up to about the 46-yard line. Just to finish the thought on Don Narcisse, you have to think that if he played anywhere else, he'd be one of the big stars in the Canadian Football League. Don Narcisse has put up numbers that very few receivers in the CFL can match, and yet hardly anyone notices him.
Nice job outside to get through that little crack, but this is a great job by Malcolm Frank to come up and make an open field tackle.
It's a gain of 6, brings up 2nd and 4 for Saskatchewan. And the breeze has died down now to almost nothing. And 3 receivers bolt to the wide side of the field, and that's where Tom Burgess is heading. With pursuit after him, he gets it up ahead, but the catch is made by Sean Daniels right at the first down marker, and I think it will be a first down for Saskatchewan.
If I'm Saskatchewan, I go back to that quad eye. They have 4 people in the I formation behind Burgess because it's giving all sorts of problems to Sacramento on defense. They're not sure what to do because everybody's overreacting. They're all moving all those eye guys out to one side. They only have 2 defensive backs playing zone. They've got 3 people in the running routes.
It was a first down for Daniels just outside the 50-yard line. And that confusing look is what sprung Larry Thompson free for that 54-yard gain in the opening half. Burgess now throws short and has Dan Farthing close to another first down. So while Elgard has been held off the sheet so far, Farthing gets a first down for Saskatchewan.
And again, a nice job by Tom Burgess. The zones give you certain things, and Tom Burgess is being patient enough to make sure that he takes him. He's not trying to force anything right now.
And last week had his best game as a pro against the Toronto Argonauts. 7 catches for 128 yards for the product of the University of Saskatchewan. So it's a first down inside Sacramento territory at the 49-yard line. Just underway in the second half. Here's Mike Saunders picking his way ahead, bounces down for a gain of 8 to the 42-yard line. And Saunders, a north-south runner, the kind of running that coaches love to see.
Oh, they love to see that kind of runner, Gord. He doesn't do a lot of stuff trying to get outside. He gets his shoulders turned up the field and he runs north-south. He's that nice little move to get outside and then he takes it inside. He's a fantastic running back.
So Saunders getting on track now. And here comes that 4-man in the backfield set again for Saskatchewan. And this time they head to the short side of the field. The toss goes to Saunders with a convoy in front of him. Saunders trying to fight his way for the first down, but he's stacked up short of the 40-yard line. And a good play by Leonard Nelson on the Sacramento defense.
That was an excellent play by Leonard Nelson. Looks like they had everybody out in front ready to block and try to reach people. But Nelson came flying through there, and he just disrupted all the blocking, and it forced Saunders to go back inside. I haven't seen a pitch out like that since Newt Rockney was coach. Nice job to cut back inside, but again, Nelson kind of disrupts the play on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Tough run.
Brings up 3rd and 1, and Saskatchewan will go for it at the 40-yard line. It's a long 1 yard. And Burgess has to hurry. He went to the sidelines for a consultation. 4 men in the backfield. They swing out now. Here comes Saunders straight ahead. Hesitated for a moment, and now he's got it. Boy, Saunders took a look for a moment, but then decided to head upfield and looks as though he has the first down for Saskatchewan. Those slow developing plays in the backfield are often nightmares on 3rd and short.
And not too many backs can get away with what he just did. Usually you got to hit in there on 3rd and short.
And he didn't get much of a break on the spot. They mark it just inside the 39-yard line, which is exactly where he had to get. But he should be far enough, which he is. And so the drive continues for the Saskatchewan Roughriders with 8.5 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. And there's a Saskatchewan fan who's a long way from home. They're everywhere. First down at the 39-yard line. Saunders, the lone back in the backfield. Takes the handoff from Burgess. Bounces outside, gets away from the initial tacklers and picks up about 5 yards as he gets down to the 35-yard line. And Ledbetter thought he had him dead, but Saunders ran right away from the Sacramento defensive end.
And Saunders looks like the type of back that he's going to get better the more you give him the football. There are those backs who just continually get stronger as the game goes on. He looks to be that kind of a running back.
They call it a gain of 4, make it 2nd and 6 now from the 35-yard line. Now Burgess looking back to the short side of the field. Lots of traffic there as he's looking to Larry Thompson, but he was very well covered by Junior Robinson. No, not the Junior Robinson that used to play for Ottawa, Edmonton, and Winnipeg. It's a new Junior Robinson, but covers just like the old one, as Larry Thompson had no room to run. And so Dave Ridgway in the field goal unit will come back onto the field for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And Ridgway will attempt this from the 42-yard line. 2 for 2 today. Now 12 for 14 on the season. And he has made 12 straight this season. Kind of a knuckler, and it's rolling wide left, and now it's bobbled at the goal line. They're trying to bring it out, and Rod Harris made a bad decision as he's tackled down at the 5-yard line. So they don't give up the single, but they give up plenty of field position. 2013, Sacramento leading.
Next home game for the Saskatchewan Roughriders at Taylor Field will be August the 12th, Friday, against Edmonton Eskimos, now 3-1 after their win earlier today against the Shreveport Pirates. And Alan Ford would like to think that his team could be 3-1 or maybe 4-1 by then.
Well, we have this game to contend with, and then we go into Edmonton Thursday, so we got a real quick turnaround, 2 road games in a row.
That's a tough way to start a second half. You fight back to score 13, then in 2 plays you give up 7.
Yeah, they made 2 long plays on us. One was a jump ball, and the other, our coverage broke down a little bit. I'm not sure he was throwing to that guy. I think he just overthrew, and Trey Everett happened to be in behind. But we always seem to start off slow, either at the start of the game or in the third quarter. But this team's never given up this year, and we'll come back.
The other thing is about the team, Alan, you know, I don't think enough people are paying you the kind of respect that you should be getting, because, you know, when you lose Austin and Bayless and you make the changes, people may not think that this team is as good as it is.
Well, it creates opportunities for other people to come in and play well. We lost Jeff Fairholm as well, so Dan Farthing's had an outstanding game tonight, and Sean Brantley in at the nose tackle, and our team morale is much better this year, and we're just playing. We're just not going to give up as a team.
Alan, thank you.
Okay, my pleasure.
Well, a mistake by Rod Harris makes it first down Sacramento from the 5, not where the Gold Miners wanted to start this drive, but here comes Troy Mills, and look at Mills getting out close to the 20-yard line, finally brought down at the 18 after a gain of 13 yards. Well, the Saskatchewan Roughriders held the ball there for more than 5 minutes and came away with nothing after the missed field goal by Dave Ridgway.
This is a great job by Troy Mills. Again, search technique. They're just getting bodies on bodies, and then he uses his vision to try and pick his way through. But he's a big, strong back, 6 feet, 212 pounds. Plus, he's pretty familiar with this stadium. He already played at Sacramento State. This is like a home game for him.
First down from the 17, and Archer rolling to his right, throwing to the sidelines, but well over the head of his intended receiver, Tony Hargane. We heard Vic Rudder mentioning a moment ago about the tough time Saskatchewan will have. There's a flag down on the field here, and we'll take a look at Tony Hargane and how close this pass was to him.
Tony Hargane really deliberate on his break. You can see the ball just overthrown, but look at the separation that he has between himself and Vincent Donaldson. Donaldson obviously showing great respect for Hargane's speed. That's why there's such a cushion.
Illegal chop block. Sacramento number 64. Half the distance to the goal line. Second down repeated.
There's another call you hear.
First down repeated.
There's another call you hear very rarely, the illegal chop block, and the other problem is there's no number 64 for Sacramento, but whoever it was.
I think he probably meant 54. It's Vance Hammond who.
Dave Ewell is number 64. He called his own number by accident, I think.
That penalty is declined. Second down.
So the Roughriders changed their mind and makes it 2nd and 10 from the 18. But just to finish the thought, Saskatchewan gets Edmonton now back-to-back after this, and then gets Calgary. So both Sacramento and Saskatchewan are looking at a tough few weeks coming up. So on 2nd down, David Archer goes back to the shotgun. And Saskatchewan content to rush 4 as Archer goes over the middle to Harris, makes the catch, hangs on. First down at the 53-yard line. And the big play man, Rod Harris, delivers again for Sacramento.
We talked to David Archer the other day, and he was talking about Matt Dunnigan's great performance, how he was in the zone. And you take a look at what David Archer's doing here now. This is double coverage. You shouldn't be able to throw that in here. You can see you got Glenn Suter underneath. You got Anthony Drawhorn coming across on top. Rod Harris running a great route. I mean, there are two people there in a great one-handed snag.
A gain of 35 yards, and Rod Harris has had a couple of big weeks. Archer under pressure, screen pass tipped up in the air, and Wayne Drinkwalter had it. Now there's a late flag, and Archer was dropped late, and I believe it'll be roughing the passer called against Gary Rogers, the rookie linebacker.
Major foul, roughing the passer. Saskatchewan number 41, first down.
It is Rogers. It is roughing the passer, and it is a Sacramento first down.
Gary Rogers was blitzing from the backside. Archer's trying to throw the middle screen. Oh, no question that's roughing.
3 steps.
3 steps.
They'll give you 1 for sure. Sometimes they'll give you 2, but they never give you 3. So it gives Sacramento a first down at the Saskatchewan 42-yard line, and in the odd-numbered quarter, Sacramento has been dynamite. Early movement again. This time there's flags on the play, and Troy Mills gets not much as he's stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. Another good play by Sean Brantley coming in off the nose. And now there's another late flag as some pushing and shoving breaks out. So Dave Ewell and company have been busy tonight, and now tempers are beginning to flare a little bit. Remember, Saskatchewan was the... Now they've got rough play called against Sacramento and offside against Saskatchewan, but just the Roughriders were the first team ever to lose to Sacramento. It was here last year, and that still sticks in the Riders' craw.
Offside, Saskatchewan number 64, objectionable conduct. Sacramento number 20, 5-yard offset, first down repeated.
So Mills is called for objectionable conduct. And this should move it back 5 yards and make it 1st and 15.
Well, if you remember last year, Gord, they called these games border wars, and these two teams certainly now seem to have a big hate on for one another.
And the biggest crowd in Taylor Field history watched Sacramento and Saskatchewan play last season. So there's already plenty of history between these two. So the net result is a loss of 5 for Sacramento, make it 1st and 15 from the 47-yard line. Archer with time, fakes, runs straight ahead, gets away from one, and gets knocked down at the 43-yard line. And Archer goes down awkwardly as he got whacked looking for the first down marker.
David Archer showed some pretty good feet there. It's very impressive. No linebackers in the middle. David Archer sees it open up inside. That's a tough thing to do right there, to hold and pull the ball back down. Then right there, a nice little move to get out of the way of Sean Brantley. Then he takes the big stick from Anthony Drawhorn.
He got back to the original line of scrimmage at 2nd and 10 from the 43-yard line. Lewis coming in on Archer, gets away from him, gets away from another pursuer, and now he's heading for the first down, dives to about the 31. He'll be very close. Who is that man? Doesn't run like a 32-year-old who's been around a while. And it's a first down, Sacramento.
This time David Archer's looking down the field, and he's seen a lot of bump and runs, so all the defensive backs have their back to him, and he sees an opening, decides to take it. That's why he has all that room in which to run, and does another nice job of just getting to the first down marker.
Look at this. Already 50 yards over their season average. 3.5 minutes to play, third quarter. It's a first down for Archer, who steps back in the pocket, delivers over the middle, and his receiver got mugged by Dale Joseph, but no flag. Joseph has already been flagged twice tonight on special teams. This time, he times it perfectly, or so the officials say. He had the right hand in there pretty early, though. So it's a second down from the 31. Dale Joseph, the nickel back for Saskatchewan, stays in now as they'll play 6 DBs. Archer from the shotgun. Just dumps it out to the flat, and Tony Jones can't squeeze it.
When Sacramento came out with that formation, they took took Troy Mills and stuck him out as a wide receiver, and they were in man coverage. No one came out to cover him initially. Saskatchewan waved everything off, and they went to zone.
Quarterbacks hate it when you don't catch the ball.
You know what? It was too easy a pass. He tried to hand it. No, he tried to hand it to him, and that's the problem. Instead of throwing it, he saw him so wide open, he tried to hand it to him.
Too easy. That's the first time I've ever heard of that.
It is. He's so wide open.
I can't
he just wants to hand it to him.
I can't believe you would blame a quarterback for making too easy a throw. Brings up a field goal attempt for Roman Anderson. This one from 38 yards out. A wobbly snap. Anderson puts it up and puts it through, and the Gold Miners now lead by 10. 23-13 is the score with 2:42 to play. We'll return to Sacramento right after this. The Miners have scored 10 unanswered points here in the third quarter, lead 23-13. But remember, the first half, Sacramento scored 13 in the opening quarter, gave up 13 in the second, and went to the dressing room tied.
And what about the start of the third quarter where they had that drive that almost ate up 6 minutes, but they didn't get any points out of it? That really has to loom big right now for Saskatchewan.
First and 10 from the 35. Burgess is back to throw. He's looking at Ray Elgard, who's well covered. Now he's running for his life, and there's nobody open, so he throws it to the feet of Sean Daniels.
Well, they're trying to set up the screen to Sean Daniels, and he gets caught up in the rush inside. He can't get out.
And we mentioned in the first half, but inconsistency has been a problem that have dogged Tom Burgess and the Roughriders in the past, and it's rearing its head here. But Burgess still has his team in the football game. When you think about the fact that, we hate to bring it up again, but Sacramento fumbled at the goal line late in the second quarter. It's been a big turning point in this game.
What's interesting about Tom Burgess is that he recognizes the fact that he was a streaky type quarterback, and he's tried to work hard to be much more consistent.
Second and 10. Burgess straight back this time, throwing wide open to the sidelines. And how did Mike Saunders get that open? A first down inside Sacramento territory to the 52, and Mike Saunders is all by his lonesome on the sideline.
See Saunders on the right of your screen. He was just kind of trying to slide out. Burgess steps up, sees him outside. What a nice job there again in zone defense.
There was
and what a move.
Leonard Nelson got faked out and finally ran into his own man. Took a Saskatchewan Roughrider to bring him down as he bumped into Scott Hendrickson. First and 10 from the 52, and Burgess back to throw again. Slips and goes to the sidelines again to Saunders, and he can't hang on. Check that, it's Don Narcisse. Don Narcisse kind of bobbled it on his way out of bounds. So it brings up a second and 10 for Saskatchewan, with 1:24 to play in the third quarter.
Usually the sure hand of Donald Narcisse will come up with those plays, but really you have to give credit to Malcolm Frank. Got his hands in there and disrupted the ball.
And when will Mr. Elgard catch one? The all-time leading receiver is stalled tonight. Burgess to the sidelines to Dan Farthing, who was close to the first down. Where do they mark it? Right at the 43, which is right on top of the first down marker. And where they're spotting it, it looks like a first down for Saskatchewan. Dan Farthing today, 4 catches for 44 yards. Coming off last week when he had 7 for 128. And how close did he get? He got that close.
Tom Burgess does a nice job finding Dan Farthing sitting right there. Actually, very good coverage. Dan Farthing starting to assert himself as one of the key receivers for this Rider offense.
So on third and short, Saskatchewan will gamble. They need to cross the 42-yard line to get this first down, and there comes that 4-back set again for Saskatchewan. And Burgess plows straight ahead and actually gets about 3 yards across the 40 for the first down. And there's a flag on the play, which is almost always offside against the defense. So with 37 seconds to play in the third quarter, Tom Burgess has his team marching again. You mentioned a moment ago, Saskatchewan held the ball here for 6 minutes in this quarter.
Offside. Sacramento defensive line. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Got them all. Should be 20 yards. Anyway, Saskatchewan had the ball for nearly 6 minutes and didn't get a point.
Well, this is a drive that they certainly have to get points out of there. Again, holding great ball control. Burgess doing a nice job of driving his team down the field.
First and 10 Saskatchewan from the 38, and here's Burgess from the shotgun. Under pressure from Moore, and down he goes. I'll tell you what, Curtis Moore saw him from the get-go and dropped him quickly. Nobody got in his way.
Curtis Moore lines up right in the middle linebacker. He just comes flying through there. No one touches him. You can see they try to drop out Chris Burns to try and come over and help out, but he was there too late.
And Maurice Miller, number 97, also in to help on the stick, and a big loss for Burgess. Brings up a long second down. Make it second and 18 yards, and that might have taken them out of Dave Ridgway's field goal range. On what should be the final play of the third quarter, Burgess from the shotgun again, and going over the top for Narcisse, open, and he makes the grab. Narcisse with a first down at the 15-yard line, just took it away from Malcolm Frank. And the veteran takes the rookie to school. On the final play of the third quarter, Saskatchewan trailing by 10 and is threatening deep in Sacramento territory. The CFL Live from Sacramento will return for the fourth quarter. Welcome back to Sacramento, where Kay Stevenson's club is in an unfamiliar position, leading opening the fourth quarter for the first time this season. So the comeback kids now have to protect the lead. It's 23-13 Sacramento entering the final quarter, and Saskatchewan's been pretty good in the fourth quarter itself this year. But that completion to Don Narcisse puts Saskatchewan deep in Sacramento territory at the 16-yard line, where Tom Burgess and company have a first down. And we've got people on the field at the far end, so they'll be escorted away. They're actually contestants in a third quarter contest. Maybe they thought they'd get to play the fourth quarter or something. So they hustle their way off, and now Tom Burgess can go to work. Had a man for a moment, now running for his life. Got away from one, throws to the sidelines, incomplete, and Tom Burgess was lucky to get away.
Well, they were coming after him with everything in that one, Gord. They brought all the linebackers, and Burgess does a nice job of stepping up. And you can see the kind of experience that Tom Burgess brings. Makes sure that he's not going to cough the ball up on first down close to the other team's goal line. Nice job of stepping up here, just ducks underneath it. And now he sees the rush coming again. He says, no, I'm just going to dump it off in the general direction of one of my guys.
Now the wind beginning to kick up a little bit. It's to Tom Burgess's back on 2nd and 10 from the 17-yard line. This time Burgess has time. Looking for Elgard, almost picked off. Jason Wallace had it in his mitts and had nothing in front of him but the end zone. And there's a flag on the play. And the flag is away from where the ball was thrown, deep in the Sacramento defensive backfield, but on the far side of the field.
Illegal contact on an eligible receiver. Sacramento number 39. Half the distance to the goal line, first down.
Bobby Humphrey called for illegal contact, and what a turn of events that is, because now it's first and goal Saskatchewan from the 8.
And the other reason why that kills you is that bump was away from the play. That wasn't even the designated side in which Burgess was going.
Surprising they called it, because they generally don't. So on first and goal from the 8. Burgess gives it straight ahead to Saunders, and Saunders fights his way down to the 5. The numbers through 3 quarters, and Saskatchewan now making its presence felt. Net yards, a 57-yard lead for Sacramento. The turnovers remain 1 apiece, and penalties uncharacteristic for Saskatchewan. 11 penalties in the football game. The Riders were the least penalized team in the Canadian Football League last year, but this time it's a penalty that really hurts Sacramento.
This is a situation where Saskatchewan is now, where I come out again with that quad eye, because I was giving them all sorts of problems. That's why I'm not coaching. They're coming out with no backs in the backfield.
Burgess now looking into the end zone, has a man, touchdown, Don Narcisse. And Don Narcisse just used his body as a shield and hauled in the low pass from Burgess. Touchdown Saskatchewan. The convert can bring them within 3.
Don Narcisse and Malcolm Frank have been having a battle all night long, and Donald Narcisse is showing the rookie the kind of experience it takes to be successful in this league. Burgess looking for Narcisse the whole way. It's man coverage. Narcisse just goes down and drives Frank off and then works back to the ball. And you can see the separation between the two. And Narcisse makes it look easy.
And Frank would have had to go through his lower back to get that one because Don Narcisse just shielded that ball perfectly. Dave Ridgway with the convert, and now Saskatchewan within 3. There's a flag on the play. It looked like Sacramento was offside. They'll likely apply that to the kickoff, but the Saskatchewan Roughriders hit the end zone, and again, it's the even-numbered quarters that favor Saskatchewan. If there's overtime, who gets the advantage? Well, I guess there's 2 halves of overtime, so they can do it that way. Mark Ledbetter talking it over with Dave Ewell, tonight's referee. Ledbetter, one of the bright lights in Sacramento's first season last year.
No end. Saskatchewan, 5-yard penalty, repeat the convert.
Well, they'll make Dave Ridgway kick it from the 17.
And what happens in that kind of situation, Gord, especially when you're kicking a convert, is everybody tries to create almost a cup. And the officials sometimes get very picky on the tackle when he gets back a little bit, and they call it. I think it's not a very good call.
They miss about one of these a year. And so Dave says, fine. I'll put it through from 17 yards out. His team is within 3 with 12:50 to play in the 4th quarter on the CFL Live from Hornet Field in Sacramento.
2 CFL games live next week on TSN. On Wednesday at 7:30 from Ottawa, Calgary and Doug Flutie will be in, tied for first place right now at 3-1. And then on Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time from Iverwind Stadium, Shreveport Pirates will be at Iverwind to play the Ticats. Both those teams still looking for their first wins of the season. Bobby Jurison and the Saskatchewan defense getting together moments ago, and Jurison saying, look it, fellas, we're self-destructing out there. We've got to keep our mouths closed. We're just really causing our own problems, Jamie.
That's a good point, Vic, actually. You know, they got to play football and leave all the talking in the huddle.
Dan Ridgway kicks it off deep for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and the kickoff is taken at the 10 by Charles Miles. Flags are down, and Miles has gotten away across the 50 and finally brought down at midfield, but there's a flag down at the 26-yard line, and you can bet this is coming back.
Tommy Smith for Sacramento normally plays outside linebacker. A very obvious clip. If you're going to clip, don't do it right in front of the official. He has to call it.
And so Dave Ewell, one of the busier men on the field tonight, will bring this back.
Block. Sacramento number 55. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Good call. It was Tommy Smith, number 55, who was flagged for the illegal block, and will wipe out that great return for Charles Miles.
See, number 55, he'll try to work back. And right there you see it at number 91.
Just wiped out Peter Miller. So Kay Stevenson has had a couple of calls go against his team in the last few moments. A pass interference call away from the ball that gave Saskatchewan a first down, and now a illegal block that nullifies a good return. Gives Sacramento a first down at the 18-yard line. And here comes Charles Miles breaking his way off tackle, gets to about the 27-yard line. The storyline of this game brought to you by Dodge Trucks, reinventing the truck. Well, Sacramento has owned the football, and David Archer's having a pretty good night. His kicker, Roman Anderson, is 3 for 3 so far, and that explains a lot of why Sacramento is ahead 23-20. And now what the Gold Miners would love to see is a little more of that possession football. With the clock running at 11:54, Sacramento could put together a long drive and really chew up some clock.
Time management becomes so important here right now.
Here's Troy Mills off tackle with a first down as he bursts across the 35-yard line.
And that's the way to do it. The clock continues to run. This could be bad news for Sacramento. Looks like Troy Mills injured his leg. Very impressed by the running, but take a look at the wall of blockers in front. I mean, you cannot see any green or white there. It's just all teal.
And so as Mills leaves the ball game, Gary McCurdy comes in. He was penciled in as the replacement to Mike Oliphant, but really hasn't played much of a part in the offense tonight. He's in there now on first down. Archer smacked in the backfield. He never had a chance as Ray Bernard bore down on him and dropped him. And we talked about protecting David Archer in the opening of the telecast. They were doing all right, but not a very good job there.
That's the only time I believe where David Archer's been sacked today, so they've done an excellent job, that offensive line. Much maligned, especially last week, allowing 10 sacks. They've certainly turned it around. Ray Bernard coming in. There's no backs in the backfield to pick him up. McCurdy went over to try and take the outside linebacker, and Bernard came free.
From the shotgun, Archer over the middle as a man, has a first down as Trey Everett ran backwards, but still should have the first down as Ron Getz finally brought him down. Heard the Sacramento coaches screaming, no, don't go backwards.
Coaches pull their hair out when they see guys do that. I mean, it's tough enough to complete passes like that. Don't give up the first down. Make sure you always turn and work up the field. This is a nice pattern. Wide open. They're in zone coverage. It's a nice job, but hey, up the field, not backwards.
Trey Everett played 4 games for the Saskatchewan Roughriders last year. Got 17 there and a first down at the 47-yard line. Archer, screen pass over the middle, gets it to Charles Miles, and Miles had some people in front of him, brought down by Ron Getz, and now there's a late flag away from the play as Trey Everett got into it with Albert Brown. And we'll see which way this is going. Looks like holding against Sacramento.
Holding, Sacramento number 34, 10-yard penalty, first down.
They call it on Gary McCurdy, who had just come into the game to replace Troy Mills.
Well, interesting, in 2 plays that have happened now, McCurdy came in to replace Troy Mills. First things first, when you're a running back, you've got to take care of the inside linebacker when he comes on the blitz. You allow the outside linebacker to come. He takes longer to get to the quarterback. He made a mistake that first time, and now he's made another one holding. So things aren't looking too good for Gary McCurdy right now.
Sets up a 1st and 20 from the Sacramento 37. If nothing else, the penalties are helping Sacramento chew up the clock. From the shotgun, Archer, long throw, has a man, and Tony Hargane makes the catch up at the 48-yard line. Knocked out of bounds by Vincent Donaldson.
We talked a little bit about that earlier, how Donaldson is really respecting Hargane's speed, and he's really backed off quite a bit. David Archer again launches another one. It's only a short completion, but the ball's in the air a long way. But look at the quick release Archer has as well. He gets rid of that ball instantly when he makes his mind up. And it's tough for a defense when you're playing coverages to react to the ball. Look at Archer. Yeah, that's the way to throw it in there.
Brings up 2nd and 8. And Archer with time, looking deep, has Pruitt open, makes the catch, and is brought down at the 30-yard line. Oh, incomplete, they call it, as Pruitt bobbled the ball at the end of that play. Pruitt was wide open for a second. And how does he fail to make that catch? And Archer's had some problems with drop balls tonight.
Real nice job. They're playing 3 deep. You see Glenn Suter in the middle of your screen, number 27. He's just trying to read Archer's eyes. Pruitt gets behind. Fails to hold on to the ball.
Went right through his hands.
That's 2 that he's dropped. 2 key ones tonight.
And Archer can't believe it. Pete Gardier back to punt. Remember, he was a quarterback in Texas. And he's a pretty good punter, too. High end-over-end kick. Wallace let it bounce. Did he touch it? Ruffin picks it up at the 26-yard line. Now there's a flag down for no yards, but if Wallace touched the football, that'll be waved off, and we'll have another conference, I'm sure.
Or it depends on whether or not they called it on Wallace, whether guys had infringed on him within the 5-yard area when he was going to catch the ball.
That's twice that Wallace has let the ball bounce in front of him.
And, you know, that's one thing a coach says, never let that ball bounce, because on average, you lose about 15 yards. The ball always seems to roll in the punter's direction.
So they call the bounce rule there. It was a 39-yard punt by Gardier. And it means that Saskatchewan will begin first down from its own 34-yard line. 8:10 to play in the 4th quarter. Saskatchewan trailing by 3. Ray Yock and company trying to fashion a comeback against the team that seems to have it down pat. Will return in just a moment. Elgart set the CFL record for most career catches. So what happens to him this week? They leave him alone. He's been blanked tonight. Not a catch for number 81, and you'd have to think that with Saskatchewan looking to get back in this game, he'll be a part of the offense. And look at the total yards for Ray Elgard. You can't think of two receivers who are more different than Ray Elgard and Brian Kelly. Elgard, big and strong over the middle, gets a lot of yards after he catches the ball. Brian Kelly, small and precise. Hey, one guy's in the Hall of Fame, and you can bet that when this guy retires, you'll follow him right there.
And one thing about Ray Elgard, when you watch him run his routes, he is very smooth. He's just like silk when he runs them. I think everybody thinks he's a big guy and he weighs a lot and everything else. He's going to be a little bit awkward, but no, he's smooth as silk.
Burgess with a toss to Mike Saunders. Saunders bounces outside, gets upfield, dives for the first down, and is close to it at about the 44-yard line. Finally forced out of bounds there by Mark Ledbetter, who's been a pretty solid defensive force for Sacramento tonight. So Ray Yock, no panic here. His team's down 3, lots of time left on the clock, and maybe you don't want to get ahead of Sacramento too soon in the fourth quarter.
That's right. I don't think he's thinking that right now, but he's just trying to get some points on the board.
Saunders stopped just short of the first down. This is 2nd and 1. Remember the last time this came up, Burgess went over the top out of this very formation to Larry Thompson for a 54-yard gain. This time they give it off, and Saunders didn't get much. In fact, he's lucky to get back to the original line of scrimmage.
I still think they have to throw out of that formation because it really causes all sorts of problems for Sacramento's defense. They're not sure whether they want to. They want to play man, but they can't play man in that kind of a situation because they don't know which way the backs are going to go or which way they're going to flow, so they have to go into zone. And so when you get a defense doing things they don't want to do, usually it's to the offense's advantage.
Well, Saunders lost a little yardage there. It's 3rd and a long 1, and Brent Matich of the punting unit come out for Saskatchewan. And perhaps the greatest tribute to Ray Elgard as a player, even though he's a veteran, been in the league 12 years, still plays special teams and loves it. The special teams captain for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. You see him there right in the middle of the formation. Matich, the left-footed punter, gets it high and short. Taken right away, but not very far by Rod Harris, and there's a flag down, no yards, likely the call against Saskatchewan, a 33-yard punt by Brent Matich.
And that's a nice job by Rod Harris. He comes up, makes sure the catches the ball in a crowd and draws the no yards. And that's an easy 15 yards.
No yards. Saskatchewan number 41. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Big play for Sacramento. Takes the gold miners pretty deep into the midfield area as they try to protect their 3-point lead with 7:04 to play.
We'll go to 3-1 and join Calgary, British Columbia, and Edmonton. The Eskimos going to 3-1 after their win over the Shreveport Pirates. After their last possession, Sacramento quarterback Dave Archer came right to his offensive lineman and said, "Fellas, where did that 71 come from?" That 71, of course, is Saskatchewan's Bobby Jurison. Jamie, he figures if he can get the time, if they can give him a pocket, he's got enough guys open to keep the ball moving downfield. The problem is right now, he's not getting the time.
Hey, Gordon, a lot of guys have said, where did Bobby Jurison come from?
1st and 10, Sacramento from the 51-yard line. Archer felt some initial pressure, rolls away from it, looks downfield as a man wide open. And again, I think it was James Pruitt who couldn't hang on. Had it for a moment, but couldn't squeeze it. And some good defense played down the field by Saskatchewan as Pruitt had it for a moment, but had it knocked out of his hands.
Dave Archer with a strong arm throwing it right down to James Pruitt, but he takes a hellacious lick here. Bang, bang. Looks like it's a pinball, and that ball flies out.
Vincent Donaldson was the man who applied the last hit that knocked the ball loose, and you really can't blame Pruitt there. And there's a Saskatchewan Roughrider down on the turf, and I believe that is Vincent Donaldson. 4th-year Roughrider. And they're checking the neck area of Vincent Donaldson, and it was an awkward hit, and certainly one you don't like to see.
He kind of took the rebound of the hit. Because Pruitt went up in the air and was hit back into Donaldson.
And we've seen that hit before in the Canadian Football League. There's nothing a player can do when a receiver gets hit into him. And that's exactly what happened on that play. And they'll take no chances with this. As David Archer takes time to go over to the sidelines and talk to a former quarterback, Kay Stevenson, who was a pro with the Buffalo Bills, San Diego Chargers, and the old AFL, was a teammate of Jack Kemp's, and in fact had Jack Kemp's son in camp and cut him. So much for old teammates and alliances. And there's Tom Burgess talking to an old fullback, Ray Yock. As they continue to check out Vincent Donaldson on the field, he's moving his extremities, and that's always a good sign. The story for Saskatchewan brought to you by Dodge Trucks, reinventing the truck. They ran only 21 plays in the first half, and only 6 in the first quarter. Larry Thompson was dynamite for a stretch there. He had 4 consecutive catches on the night. He's got 5 for 119. Ray Elgard might not need a shower after this game. No catches so far.
You'd have to go back a long way to find a game in which Ray Elgard did not have a reception. It's such an integral part of this Rider offense. That's a good sign right there.
Well, Vincent Donaldson is up now, and
I'm not too sure he knows where he is.
And look at that, the Maple Leaf flying proud at Hornet Field in Sacramento. Boy, people from Saskatchewan making the trip down here to get out of the hot weather. It's a lot cooler here than it is in Regina. Let's go down to Vic Rutter at the sidelines. Vic?
Well, Gord, Bill Urbanek, the defensive coordinator, while his offense, the gold miner offense, is on the field, is walking up and down to each of his people, linebackers, linemen, defensive backs, and saying, look, when we get back on the field, his key is that he wants everybody to step up. Jamie, you know this so well. Don't be afraid. Step up. If you want to play. If you lose the game, don't worry about it, but make sure you do something. Don't sit back.
That's right. You can't be conservative in this game. If you sit back and try to hold on and not to lose, usually that guarantees you will lose.
2nd and 10 from the 51 for the Gold Miners. They flood the near side with receivers, but Archer goes to the far side, and his pass is too far for the intended target, Myron Wise. That's the first time they've thrown in his direction tonight, and Archer right away says, that was my fault.
David Archer, when he's been off tonight, he's actually throwing the ball a little bit high. And take a look at Donaldson. Looks like he's bouncing back, getting that little spring back into his step.
So it's 3rd down for Sacramento, and after the incompletion by Archer, it's a punting situation, and Pete Gardier is back into the football game with 6:27 and counting to play in the 4th quarter. So it looks like we're in for another one of those fantastic finishes. Gardier with lots of time, gets a high tumbling punt away, not too deep for Wallace, who takes it at the 37. And he gets to maybe the 38 as a flag comes down. That may be an illegal block against Saskatchewan. A 23-yard punt by Gardier, his worst of the night, and perhaps coming at the worst time, as the last thing Sacramento wanted to do here was give Saskatchewan field position.
Number 55, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Ooh, and they called the big one on him too. 15 yards for no yards, and it goes from bad to worse after a 23-yard punt. And Stevenson thought it should have been a 5-yard no-yard penalty. So now Saskatchewan starts 1st down at its own 52-yard line with 6 minutes to play here in the 4th quarter. Not very far to go. Bad time for special teams to go wrong for the Sacramento Gold Miners. Saunders, the lone back, deep in the backfield. Burgess, quick drop, under pressure, dropped the football, gets it back. He was under pressure right away from Willie Fears, and Mark Ledbetter feels it should be Sacramento football, but Tom Burgess picked a funny time to dribble the ball.
It's one thing about the 3-step drop. If the receiver's not open right away, there's not a great deal that you can do. It looked like he tried to shovel it forward, but lost control.
Well, whatever it is, it's a loss of 6. So it's a long 2nd down play for Burgess and the Riders. Burgess with time for a moment, stepped up, almost had it picked off. Malcolm Frank stepped in front of it and couldn't squeeze it. 2nd time tonight, a Sacramento defensive back has been all alone and unable to squeeze it.
Well, he thought he was going to get the big payback against Donald Narcisse on this one by picking off Tom Burgess and taking it to the end zone. He starts running before Actually, it's actually a pretty good play. It would have been a tough catch. He was kind of moving across the ball.
And that ball was deflected at the line of scrimmage, and Burgess got mugged at the end of the play. Curtis Moore's had a big night tonight. A couple of sacks and interception in the first half. Harris lets the ball bounce. Good decision. It bounces back towards the Riders, out of bounds at the 30-yard line with 4:47 to play in the fourth quarter. Sacramento gets the ball back and gets a chance to work some time off the clock and perhaps add to its lead. And Malcolm Frank, look at the films tomorrow and say, he's had a pretty good night, though. And Ray Elgard still hasn't caught a pass this football game, which is almost impossible to believe. Clock is running. 4.5 minutes now. And they give the ball off to the second back in the backfield, Charles Miles, and Miles picks his way for a few, making a gain of 3 at 2nd and 7.
And that was a nice job by Bobby Jurison, the outside linebacker. They call him, he's really a down lineman. He doesn't really penetrate, and he forces Miles to go inside, respecting his speed.
Second and 7 now, Sacramento. From the 32-yard line, the Gold Miners would dearly love a first down here to keep the clock rolling. Archer from the shotgun, under pressure, steps up. Now ducks down as Gary Lewis looked to take his head off. And it'll be a punting situation again for Sacramento as Archer couldn't find anyone open.
David Archer trying to look. He's taking a lot of time, but you know, he's not going to throw up the easy interception right now. He's actually content to take that sack.
So Gardere, whose last punt traveled 23 yards, will be looking for a better effort here as he's standing at his own 10-yard line. 3:40 to play in the fourth quarter. And Saskatchewan is, if nothing else, creeping into field goal range. This is a much better effort for Gardere, a booming punt. And it's taken by Ruffin back at his own 40, and Ruffin gets his way up to the 52-yard line. There's a flag down at the original line of scrimmage. A lot of flags tonight. A 46-yard punt. And what is this one all about? That was the 30th flag of the night. And they're talking it over with Ray Elgard, so that would indicate it's perhaps Sacramento offside or no end.
Holding, Sacramento number 50, 10-yard penalty, third down repeated.
Or holding. Well, every special teams play is a nightmare now for Kay Stevenson. I was going to say earlier, the biggest improvement I've noticed in Sacramento over last year is how well it's playing on special teams. But here in the fourth quarter, things have gone a little awry, and now Gardere will be punting from his own goal line. And this will pretty much guarantee that Saskatchewan will begin this possession in field goal range.
Gardere, I know, is hoping that he can kick the ball the same distance he did the last time. They've been struggling a little bit. He is kicking into a wind, and it seems to be picking up.
So from the goal line, here's Gardere. Had someone right in his face. It was almost blocked. Wallace lets it bounce again. This time it's scooped up by Albert Brown, who takes it down to the 40-yard line. No flags on the play. What do you know? A 30-yard punt. And Saskatchewan begins 1st and 10 from the Sacramento 40. 3:03 to play here in the fourth quarter, and Saskatchewan trails by 3.
A little surprised at how tentative Darrell Wallace is back there returning those punts. I mean, that's what his job is. He's supposed to take it in the air, but...
Well, Saskatchewan gets a chance to tie at least when we come back. Welcome back to Sacramento. I'm Gord Miller along with Jamie Bowen and our ace stats man, David Moyer, who's dressed California casual today. A little chilly here. But the temperature can drop pretty quickly here in Northern California once the sun goes down, and we're at Hornet Field on the campus of California State University here in Sacramento, and 14,000 plus in attendance tonight on what was a very hot day in Sacramento. Here seeing if the Gold Miners can do something they haven't had to do all season long, hang on to a lead. We mentioned the Gold Miners for the first time this season opened the fourth quarter with a lead. And it remains 23-20, but you wouldn't think for long. The clock is running at 2:55, and Saskatchewan begins 1st and 10 at the Sacramento 40. Burgess with split backs. Lots of time, goes to the sideline, and look who makes the catch. Ray Elgard, who waited some 57 minutes and 15 seconds to get his first one of the game, but it's a huge one, a first down at the 22 of Sacramento.
Yeah, great recognition as well by Ray Elgard to recognize zone coverage. He just runs down and turns around and sits in the zone, and Burgess delivers him the ball.
That's 710 grabs for Ray Elgard. He likely won't want to wait as long for number 711. It was a gain of 18 yards, and there's an injured gold miner at the 46-yard line. So now Saskatchewan looking at least the field goal, but you have to, I guess, balance the possibility of going to the end zone with the interception. Do you ever consider the interception as a possibility? Would you play conservatively here and get the time?
I don't think you say you play conservatively, but you play smart, and there's a difference there. I think that you're not going to force anything if it's not there, because you know you do have a chance to kick the field goal. But I don't think Tom Burgess is thinking field goal right now. I don't think Ray Yock's thinking field goal. They're thinking touchdown. Let's win this thing now.
I always say in hockey, play for the tie on the road, but it's a much different situation here, and overtime is certainly not what Saskatchewan wants to go through. Remember, the Riders played in overtime in Vegas when it was 3 billion degrees. Greg Jolson, the injured Sacramento gold miner, is sitting up, and here's the numbers for Tom Burgess tonight. A pretty workmanlike evening, 17 of 30 for 266 yards and 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
Good numbers for Tom Burgess, considering how they got out to such a slow start in the first quarter.
Tom's had an interesting career in the CFL. He's played for Ottawa twice, Saskatchewan twice. If he gets traded to Winnipeg again, that'll be Winnipeg twice. Of course, if he goes to Hamilton, he'll follow in the footsteps of Tom Clements, playing for those 4 teams, and Clements is in the Hall of Fame. All kinds of possibilities for Tom.
He's also the quarterback coach at Notre Dame now.
That's right. First down from the 22-yard line. 2.5 minutes to play here in the 4th quarter, and Saskatchewan is driving. They give the ball off to Wallace, and Wallace finds some room down the right side, gets about 8 down to the 15-yard line. So Wallace, who hasn't carried the mail much tonight, gets an 8 on that play, and I think they were looking for Mike Saunders to carry the ball there.
That was a real nice play. Again, they run that counter trap. They lead with Hendrickson and also Chris Burns, the rookie. Hendrickson seals inside, and Burns kicks out, and then they run Wallace up in there. That's a super play. And I think the other thing that Saskatchewan's thinking right now, too, is let's use the clock to our advantage now. Let's start to run down sometime. Let's not be in such a hurry.
2nd and 3 from the 15-yard line. And the clock is running. This time it is Saunders. Bowls his way ahead, gets the first down. Actually might have had help from the Sacramento defender. As coming up to try with the tackle was Corian Freeman, who actually knocked Saunders forward and helped him get the first down.
Again, they go to that quad eye again, then hand it off to the big back. You're right, Corian Freeman gives him the big shot and pushes him towards a first down.
70 yards rushing tonight for Saunders with a touchdown. Gets a first down to the 12. Under 2 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Now you think don't leave them too much time.
Absolutely. They're just saying take our time. Let's run the clock.
Clock down to 2 seconds of the play clock. Burgess better hurry. Just gets it off. And now looking to the end zone. Elgard. Still no indication. It should be a touchdown. It is. Touchdown, Elgard. His 2nd catch of the football game is the one that puts Saskatchewan on top. What do you know?
When you're a quarterback and you get into critical situations, you're usually going to go to the guy that can bring home the bacon, and that's been Ray Elgard throughout his career. Nice route. Goes right off of Bobby Humphrey, the veteran. A little bit of a push-off, but does a nice job of catching the ball, and then he turns upfield. He knifes upfield hard right away, and the ball crosses the goal line. That official couldn't call it because he was being knocked down, but Burgess, he's calling it all the way.
So Saskatchewan leads for the first time. With 1:41 to play, Ray Elgard makes his first 2 catches of the ball game. One gets them a big first down. The second gets them the go-ahead touchdown, and nothing like having the all-time leading receiver in CFL history in your arsenal to bring out in the clutch moments.
Nice job by Burgess. He's going to the Elgard all the way. He's just waiting for him to make his break, puts the ball perfectly, and then Elgard knifes up the field. Just make sure the ball gets over the plane of the goal line.
And Humphrey, to be fair, is in pretty deep against Ray Elgard. I mean, he's giving away a lot of size to a guy who knows his way around defensive backfields.
So Humphrey did a great job in Elgard for most of the night.
The 4-play 40-yard drive necessitated when Sacramento had difficulty on the punt formation, was called for holding, and as a result, Saskatchewan didn't have to go very far. But there's 1:41 to play now in the fourth quarter, and look out, here come the Cardiac Kids again. Sacramento has made late game comebacks its trademark, and here's a short kickoff which goes to McCurdy, and Gary McCurdy had some room to run. He gets all the way up to the 44-yard line. A strange decision by Saskatchewan to kick it off short. Now Sacramento, with 1:34 to play, has about 66 yards to go back on top.
That's not a strange decision. That's a stupid decision, if that in fact was a decision. You don't do those kind of things. Why would you want to give David Archer a chance now to win the football game? Force him to go 90 yards, not having to go 50.
A week ago, Sacramento won the game on the final play of the football game. Here, there's 1:34 to play, and Sacramento begins from the shotgun at its own 44. Archer, time, still running, now under pressure, just dumps it off underneath. He dropped the football. Troy Mills was all alone. He dropped the ball.
He had a mile of open field. If he had caught that, they wouldn't have caught him maybe until the 20, the 30 to 20. David Archer does a nice job to get up trouble.
Oh. Turned his head.
Turned his head. Got to look the ball in.
And they can't believe it on the Sacramento sidelines.
It's funny in football games, it comes down to fundamental things sometimes, and it's being able to execute the fundamentals. And that time Mills didn't execute it. Took his eyes off the ball.
Do the little things right, and the big things will take care of themselves,
That's
coaches
for sure.
say.
That's for sure.
So it's 2nd and 10. Now Archer stands in, throwing over the top. He was looking for Hargain, but Tony Hargain was tangled up with his defender on the play, and it falls incomplete. Archer having difficulty, Jamie, in the second half. 5 of 14 here in the second 30 minutes for 158 yards. Now it's 3rd and 10. And you've got to think that Sacramento is going to have to go for it here. Poor Troy Mills. Well, they like leaving it to the last minute. They're certainly doing it here. 1:22 to play. Archer will go back to the shotgun on 3rd down. Just trying to keep the drive alive. First receiver's covered, goes over the top into double coverage. Albert Brown knocks it down. Now there's a flag. And now there's a flag right at midfield. Oh my, hold on.
I don't know about that one. I tell you what, Albert Brown did a great job of covering Tony Hargain.
If it's interference, it's an automatic first down.
Forward pass interference. Saskatchewan number 4. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Albert Brown gets flagged for pass interference. Take another look. He had the left hand in.
And you know what I think? Obviously, Archer's playing for the penalty, because if he had caught the football, there's no way he has the first down.
I don't think they make that call at Taylor Field. First down from Sacramento's 54. Archer over the middle, has a man. Pruitt makes the catch and is down to the 33-yard line with 1:10 to go. Here they come, folks.
Well, Pruitt struggled a little bit earlier, dropping a couple of easy passes, but right now, he catches the biggest one of the night for him.
Gain of 23 yards.
His zone coverage, everybody's dropped way off. You can see Anthony Drawhorn a mile away. Now, that's one of the problems. They always talk about prevent defense, is sometimes what it does, it prevents you from winning.
And now I huge call against Saskatchewan. Unnecessary roughness after the play. Tack on 15 yards to the 23-yard gain. And all of a sudden, it's first down Sacramento at the Saskatchewan 18-yard line. .110 to play, and Sacramento, with the help of a couple of huge calls, has a chance to take the lead. Archer with lots of time, throwing to the end zone to Harris. Touchdown! Rod Harris with the touchdown, and there are no flags. And Ray Yock trying to rally the troops. You can bet on the Saskatchewan sidelines. They think this one was stolen from them. An interference call on 3rd and 10, and then an unnecessary roughness call, and then this.
This is just one-on-one coverage. Saskatchewan brought everybody, all the linebackers, one-on-one coverage against Aaron Ruffin. And a great pass by David Archer. That's why he makes the big money.
Their marquee player delivers when it counts. Hey, there's still 1:04 to play here in the 4th quarter.
That's plenty of time.
And Saskatchewan only needs a field goal to tie. And now there's another late flag as some pushing and shoving is broken out. Gary Rogers, number 41 for Saskatchewan, is involved. And this could affect field position on the ensuing kickoff.
Say, Ray Yock is going to have a couple of words with Gary Rogers if he, in fact, is the culprit. Because you cannot do those kind of things that hurt your team, especially at a critical time like this with 1 minute and 4 seconds left in the ball game.
Major foul. Unnecessary roughness after the play. Saskatchewan number 79, 15-yard penalty.
Excuse me, that was not Gary Rogers.
They call it on Gary Lewis, who was involved earlier, and Rogers came into his help. It'll hurt Saskatchewan, but not as much as this did.
You can see David Archer, he's going all the way to Rod Harris. There's only one receiver on the right side of the field. They only sent out 2 receivers, both wideouts. Kept everybody else in for max protection.
What's not shown there, the 2 penalty calls that accounted for much of the yardage. And here's how they reacted on the Sacramento sideline. Don't celebrate too soon. Now, though, Sacramento, instead of kicking off from the 35, kicks off from the 50.
And that's huge.
Now, if Anderson can just chip this short,
he
kicks it out of bounds.
He does not want to do that.
That'll move him 10 yards back. Try to get a little too cute with it.
Illegal kickoff. Sacramento, 5-yard penalty.
Sorry, pick that 5 yards back, so we'll kick it from the 45.
Still, I'm surprised you're kicking it short. I mean, kick that thing as deep as you can. Force him to return the ball on you.
Ray Yock manages to break a smile there. 1:04 left. His team down by 3. And you don't think they'll be scrutinizing the last few minutes of film tomorrow in Regina? So Saskatchewan does have that option, and Ray Yock exercises it. He'll give his team a first down at the 35-yard line instead of taking a chance on the return. So 1:04 to play, the ball at the 35, and Saskatchewan trailing by 3 with the wind at its back.
That's a good call by Ray, because it's not going to take any more time off the clock when they try to return it, and they have very good field position right now.
And just in case you're keeping score at home, the second major foul against Saskatchewan was on Bobby Jurison, the one that was tacked on to the big gain by Pruitt. That moved them down to the 18-yard line. So now Burgess from the shotgun. 1:04 to play. Has some time on the run. Didn't get very far, as making a great play to run him down was Maurice Miller, the middle linebacker. And Burgess stopped well short of the first down, and now Saskatchewan will have to hurry as the clock will start as soon as the ball is set.
Well, Bill Urbanek's defense certainly are not getting conservative. They're bringing 5 people on the rush at all time to put some pressure on Tom Burgess. They don't want to give him very much time sitting in the pocket so he can pick apart that zone.
Now Burgess with time here, and the ball just slipped out of his hand. I don't know if his hand was hit, but that looked like Tom Burgess just got a funny grip on the ball and couldn't control it. Wow.
They're doing a good job on defense, changing things up. They came with 5 people last time. They only rushed 3 this time. 9 people in the coverage.
What a strange play that was. So it brings up a 3rd and 6 from the 39-yard line. Remember, moments ago, Sacramento faced a 3rd and 10. Now Burgess with all kinds of time. Waits, rolls, throws it underneath. Did he get there?
No.
I don't think he did. Darrell Wallace is the receiver.
Short.
He's got to get to the 45-yard line, and I don't think he got there. The sticks are on the far side of the field. He didn't get the 45. He didn't get it. And they're marking him a half yard short of the 45. Well, Burgess had time initially, but couldn't find anyone open. And then Wallace got tripped up just before he got to the 45-yard line. This has to be short of the first down.
And that's the only option Tom Burgess had, as he's being flushed out of the pocket to his left side.
He is short. Sacramento football with 38 seconds to play. They beat them last year for their first ever win, and it looks like they'll do it here to go to 3-1 into a 4-way first place tie in the CFL West. What a turn of events in the final 5 minutes, and you know, you almost get the sense that the Sacramento Gold Miners had to put themselves behind to get where they wanted to be. And here's another look at the catch by Wallace and a play by Miller to get him down just short.
And that was a nice play by Maurice Miller, the middle linebacker, coming across for the coverage and makes the big hit of the night. Saskatchewan do have 1 timeout left, so they will stop the clock.
But no matter what, Sacramento can run a good deal off it. They give the ball off to Gary McCurdy, and McCurdy breaks through, still going for a first down at the 30-yard line. It doesn't matter what Saskatchewan wants to do now. That will just about do it.
That will do it.
You talk about a team playing with confidence, Jamie. We said in the opening that all these last-second wins made Sacramento feel like it was going to win football games, not like it could maybe.
Yeah, and how you go into a game with your mental approach is so different now, because you start to think that we are going to win. It's not going to be how are we going to mess it up, how are we going to lose tonight, but that confidence, subtle, but boy, it makes a big difference in your team's outlook psychologically when you go into a football game. They're starting to believe now they can compete with anybody in the CFL.
Well, they can compete with the West, that's for sure. Again, they go straight ahead, and the clock running at 9 seconds, and now there's little Saskatchewan can do about it as Troy Mills burst his way ahead. So the Sacramento Gold Miners, with a win tonight, will go to 3-1, and it's a 4-way tie for top spot. And Sacramento runs into the teeth of those first-place teams. BC, Calgary, and Edmonton. Sacramento plays all 3 of them in the upcoming 3 weeks. And when the dust clears, we should have a team alone in first place. No time left on the clock. David Archer kneels down on the Sacramento Gold Miners. Do it again for the 3rd consecutive week. They win it in the final couple of minutes. Kay Stevenson's team is now 3-1 on the season. Saskatchewan drops to 2-2. And in the West, that's no consolation, because that means 5th place. So Archer and Burgess go at it hard, and Sacramento comes away with a 30-27 victory.